Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Help Action, where this wonderful group of friends plays Dungeons & Dragons to raise money for charity. Thank you for coming back for episode 5. We are continuing our support for Transgender Law Center, and to talk about that charity for a little bit, I'm going to give it away to Iris for a minute.
Hi! Yeah, thank you very much. I can totally talk about that. Founded in 2002, the Transgender Law Center is the largest trans-specific and trans-legal organization in the United States. Their tireless efforts to defend and advance the rights of transgender and gender nonconforming people have resulted in precedent-setting victories in areas including employment, prison conditions, education, immigration, and healthcare. In addition to their legal work, they also organize community-specific programs, such as the Black Trans Circles, the Disability Project, the Black LGBTQIA+ Migrant Project, and Positively Trans, that inform and empower trans and gender nonconforming folks across America. They're super important, and they're a super good cause, and we're excited to be raising money for them.
And if you want to donate, go ahead and you can either go to thehelpaction.com, which is our website, and there are links there, or periodically in chat we're going to have a bot that's going to be dropping a link for you to be able to do that. We are working our way up towards a $5,000 goal and hopefully getting there soon. And then just to talk a little bit about our social media stuff, Nero, if you would like to go ahead and take care of that for us.
Yeah, like Evan was saying, you can go to thehelpaction.com, and that has all of our links and social media, so you can get, obviously you know where this Twitch page is, but you can also get to our YouTube, which has archived videos of previous weeks. We've got the Twitter, we got the Instagram. There's also just the link to donate to the Transgender Law Center, so that you, in case you can't find the link from the bot. And also there's an email us link in case you want to send us nice things. If you want to send us mean things, you should write it on a piece of paper and put it in a bottle and throw it in the ocean.
We'll get that.
We'll get right on
letter. Yeah. Metaphorical bottle. Yeah. Metaphorical paper.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nero.
Yeah, don't litter.
Yeah. And then
that's our next charity, actually. Is to clean up all of the ocean trash from the hate mail that we've been getting. All right, to talk to us for a little bit about schedule, Tommy, take it away.
Hello. So we are set to continue broadcasting at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Wednesday for the foreseeable future. So same day, same time every week. If we have any changes to that schedule, we'll try to let you know as soon as we know. But should be, every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Awesome. Just keep an eye on our Twitter and stuff. Nero talked about the social media. If you want to get updates on things that change, that's a great spot to do it. Last but not least, Robin, if you would like to discuss tonight's potential giveaway.
Yeah. So tonight we're going to do a giveaway if we can get to 100 followers on our Twitch stream, which we currently have like 95, so I feel like that's pretty dang doable. I think y'all can make that happen. The giveaway that we would really like to do.
Just Nero's frozen.
I love that Nero's frozen with a blurry cat.
Did I freeze?
Oh,
Incredible. We're back.
Should I turn my camera off and on again?
Yeah, if you want to. But go ahead, Robin, you can finish talking.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's still frozen.
Oh no. Well, sorry. Well, that's why we fixed this now.
Great.
Donate for free Nero's camera.
Yeah.
Please free me.
From camera help.
The phantom zone.
Did Kitty Cat hit a chord, possibly, or something?
No, I think it's just his evil, chaotic energy.
Oh, that makes sense.
Decided to curse us.
I'm sorry that we got interrupted. Robin, go ahead and
there you are.
do your thing.
All right. We're going to give away a copy of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus? Who knows? Which is an adventure book for all the DM buddies out there. taking place in, as Oleander likes to call it, BG City.
Hey, greatest city in the world, baby!
Perhaps a little bit more cosmopolitan and city-oriented than some of your D&D campaigns. So I suspect a lot of y'all might be interested in that. We'll be giving away a code for that at the break if we can get to 100 followers on Twitch. So make it happen, y'all.
Tell your friends we're here.
And just because I personally really like that adventure, because it's one of the few written D&D adventures that's like, it starts and is set in the Forgotten Realms, and then it like totally transports everybody to like a place you would not expect. And it's such a cool campaign setting because you really get to see stuff outside of the material plane, which you don't get to see very often in D&D.
Las
Vegas. Very cool.
Modern day.
If
Finally, tinkling an
are there
iPhone.
any other announcements or anything else that we want to talk about before we jump in?
I think we're good.
Okay, cool.
I'm excited to be here. I'd like to announce that.
Yeah.
As always, excited to be here.
Yeah.
I think I'm good. I'll just let you guys play. Awesome. So, in the last several episodes, do a little recap for you. You were hired by your dwarven friend, Gundren Rockseeker, to escort a cart of mining supplies from the large, newly rebuilt metropolitan city of Neverwinter down the trail and up into the mountains to a tiny frontier town known as Phandalin. He and a member of the Lord's Alliance named Sildar Hallwinter left ahead of you in order to make preparations for your arrival, but fell victim to brigandry along the road. They were attacked and kidnapped by this band of kobolds led by a hill giant, and Gundren himself was spirited away to this faraway castle, a mysterious castle known as Cragmaw Castle. This was all apparently done under the orders of an unknown figure known as the Black Spider. You were able to track these kobolds to their lair. You explored their hideout. You orchestrated a coup. In doing so, you killed the gang's giant leader and made allies with I hesitate to use the word charismatic kobold, but you sure did. In doing that, you rescued Sildar, the member of the Lord's Alliance, who then hired you to escort him the rest of the way back to the small town of Phandalin, where he could recover from his injuries and begin looking for a missing member of the Lord's Alliance named Iarno Albrecht. You arrived in Phandalin, which to everyone's true excitement was little more than a speck on the map. It was truly a frontier town with these Old West-style facades, saloons, a slew of gossip and problems, among which is the band of ruffians that has been threatening and causing problems around town known as the Red Brands. We last left off in our last adventure as you had located the general store called Barthen's Provisions, delivered a cart full of mining goods, the cart that you had brought all the way from Neverwinter, and were promptly paid by the friendly Barthen for your trouble. It is currently, as you stand exiting this Barthen's Provisions, it is noon, and with Sildar nursing his injuries back at the inn, you have the day to explore. Where you stand from here on the porch of Barthen's Provisions, you can gaze around town and you're able to see immediately across from you at Barthen's Provisions is a miner's exchange, which looks like a small building, possibly an office of sorts. Just over the roof of this miner's exchange, you can see a gabled roof that leads up into a steeple, complete with a bell in the tower that you saw on your way into town, which is the Townmaster's Hall. It's a town hall of sorts. Standing as the largest building around in the center is the inn and saloon that you had stayed in the previous night, the Stonehill Inn and Saloon. And then at the far end of the dirt clearing on the... Ooh, just bumped my mic by gesturing too aggressively. At the far end of the sort of large dirt cul-de-sac that makes up the middle of the town is a sort of horseshoe-shaped pile of stones, in the center of which is a large stone altar, which looks like a public shrine of some kind, not an uncommon sight in the Forgotten Realms. And then in the opposite direction, and behind you, looming high up above the rest of the town, at the top of a hill, is a decaying old manor house. With all of this in view, the warm noon sun beating down upon you, what would you like to do, and where would you like to go today?
Just imagining every time we look up at the house on the hill, it's like the what is Skinner's mother's house in The Simpsons, like with
Lightning
the craw, like,
strikes behind.
and then there's that place.
Lightning behind it every time.
It's like 8 a.m.
Weather.
It doesn't look scary. It just looks old. And looking around the town that you are in now, you can see that most of the buildings are built on these stone foundations that far outage the buildings themselves. And scattered amongst all of the other buildings are additional foundations that make it apparent that at one point this was a much, much larger town and has fell victim to time, and only a few of these lots have been rebuilt upon.
We're in the Rust Belt, boys.
Harsh. Well,
What
I have
time
a
of day is it?
Sorry, what was that, Nero?
Oh, what time of day is it again?
It is noon. The shadows pool at your feet and the sun is high above you. It's not terribly hot, but it is definitely sunny and warm.
I knew.
I knew.
Yeah.
I have a hunch that if we go visit that manor, we might find the answers to a couple of these questions we've got.
absolutely. At the very least, I think we can find somebody who can point us in the right direction. Yeah. Plus, I mean, it's a lovely piece of architecture. And if nothing else, we should try to sightsee as much as possible while we're here.
Is Barthen still standing near us?
He's gone back inside the shop. You're currently just standing outside, but if you want to open the door and peek in and say something to him, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I might walk back in and just flag him down.
A small bell above the door rings as you open the door and step in, and he just looks back up and he says, "Something else I can help you with?"
Just trying to get a feel for town.
Right.
Barthen, does anybody live in that old manor up on the hill?
Tresendar Manor? No, that place has been empty for a long time.
Can you say the name again?
Tresendar. Tresendar.
Okay. Been abandoned for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, that place is... You can tell it used to be a mighty piece of architecture, but I mean, now it's just as useless as most of the plots around here that haven't been built back on since the orc invasion way back when.
So nobody cares for it?
Not that I'm aware of, no. I mean, nobody's got the kind of money to invest to rebuild something like that around here.
Okay. Thanks for the heads up.
You betcha. You let me know if there's anything else you need.
Thanks, Barthen. I'll walk out.
Bell rings above you again as the door shuts behind you. You rejoin your companions on the porch.
Supposedly, there's no one there. And nobody runs it, no one takes care of it, so...
Interesting. Well, actually, the opposite of interesting. But interesting in its boringness, really, one might say.
One could say that. Yeah.
What are the local laws on squatting here?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Do you
sure
think we should just, check it out, or is it worth doing any more research?
I mean, personally, I would like to check it out at some point, but if we have more pressing priorities, I will, of course, defer to the group.
I mean, it's just a spooky house.
It's just
There's
a
probably
spooky
nothing
old house.
going on
It's
there.
not like...
We can just dive right in.
Yeah.
Find some spiders or something.
If we spend one night in it, I hear we'll get $5 million.
Yeah, let it be known that Ambrose said it's just a spooky house. I'm fine. The only other thing I could think of was, I bet if adults won't tell any tales about that place, I bet kids would. That's the only thing I could think. But,
Sure.
Or really, really old people.
It's
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
Children and the elderly both have nothing to fear
Yeah.
from society.
You would recall that the son of
Mhm.
the man who runs the Stonehill Inn, Toblin Stonehill is that man, his son Pip was the one who had sort of come up and poked you with the sword and regaled with a tale about his friend who had found something in that area.
Yeah, right. He said something about a tunnel I think it was a tunnel or
Yeah.
a well. I just automatically go to a child falling in a well.
Tell us what you know.
What they do.
I think a house as big as that in a place like this, somebody's hiding out there. And whether it's the Rockseeker brothers or somebody a little bit less savory, I think we should go in with our wits about us.
Not to mention, I mean, if nobody lives there, maybe somebody could live there. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Weren't the Rockseeker brothers, weren't they supposed to be on the edge of town?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Did we get what direction they went in, or just kind of around? I think they just were like around.
Near the big hole.
Okay.
You kind of got the idea that they had been coming into town to supply and then sort of going back out into the various hills to continue to prospect. And now that you know a little bit more information about what it is they're looking for, probably looking for other locations that might be entrances to this lost Wave Echo Cave or whatever it may be. But probably not right on the edge of town, probably out in the hills exploring.
Okay.
Yeah, and I believe they haven't been seen in town for a little while.
That's
Right.
correct. The shopkeeper that you had just spoken to did relay to you that they had not come in to resupply for almost a 10-day.
Interesting.
It's 10 whole days.
That's almost a fortnight. That's pretty worrying. So they could have, considering that amount of time, they could have traveled all over these hills by now. Or somebody could have, taken them.
Traveled a knife into their guts.
Yeah.
Traveled under duress.
And remember,
Amber.
your trip all the way
Wordsmith.
down from Neverwinter to Phandalin, I think, if you had gone straight through, would have only been about 2 days worth of travel, 2.5.
Yeah, so 10 days, they could be really, if they're moving, they could be anywhere.
Yeah.
So, really, we're not just looking for them. We're looking for anyone who can tell us where they went if they're no longer around here.
We could take a look at the house.
Let's just go look.
Let's
Just
take a look.
Just a little look, like.
Because I'm also in the market for real estate right now.
It's the Phandalin home tour.
Ambrose just really likes period architecture.
Lifestyles of the moldering and abandoned.
And as soon as you continue to make conversation, you all aim yourselves in the direction of this hill, atop which sits sort of the crumbling
Hi.
ruins of this old
Not Chester.
house. If you will provide me with merely a moment to pull out my very great set of notes. There we go. You make your way up the hill. As you arrive at the base of it, you can see here the town around you begins to thin out. It looks like the hill atop that this thing sets on the top of, it's kind of the only structure for a good amount of ways. Off to your right, you can very clearly see a large patch of woods that sort of sit on the hi kitty sit on the southern side of this hill. Just to the right of that and directly south of where you are now, for a frame of reference, if you are in town, the hill itself is to the due east of town. And so to the south of the hill is a patch of woods. To the south of where you are approaching the hill is a large sprawling farm with what looks like a small orchard next to it. And as you make your way, beginning to climb the hill, you can see that at the very top of it, it looks like it's surrounded by not a terribly tall, but a relatively tall wrought iron fence maybe 8 feet or tall or so, covered in gnarled, old, in many places dead and decaying ivy, and where the road meets these gates, where the road meets this fence is a set of large wrought iron gates, which stand slightly ajar.
Can I just take a look around and see if there's any movement, anybody around?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check. First roll of the night.
Oh. 15.
15. You take a peek, and as you just pause and take a look at the earth below you, sky above, and everything in between, the only opening that you see leading into these gates is the road that you are on currently. You do not see anything that looks like movement aside from a few birds that fly overhead and grasshoppers in the grass around you, and you can sort of hear that chirping of cicadas and rustling in the grass as you make your way across the road. It does not look like this area is traveled often. The grass on either side of the road is long overgrown, has not been cared for, and then peeking over the top of this wrought iron fence that sort of surrounds the building, you can see these stone parapets that are crumbling, many of which look as almost like they're missing teeth in several areas. Aside from that, that's about all you can see from here.
Bit of a fixer-upper. Do we want to go right into the front, or do we want to see if we can sneak around the back?
I was gonna ask, would I know anything about this from books?
This particular manor, go ahead and make a history check
Yeah.
for me, if you would, please.
It's a 14.
14. You don't know anything about this particular building, as your knowledge of Phandalin itself is not super specific, but you do know that what you know of the history of Phandalin is that back in the time when Wave Echo Cave was producing vast quantities of valuable substances and magical items and the ability to craft spells and all of this sort of commerce that came to Phandalin, with it came a massive influx of new money and new commerce, wealth, infrastructure, etc. You wager that if you were to look around town, you would probably find several estates of this size in various states of decay. This one just seems to be perched at a very conspicuous location, in that it's visible from the entire town and sort of occupies this lone, bald hill.
Okay.
I'd love to do a good sneak around.
Yeah, let's go around the back.
Yeah. Because if there is somebody here with the place in this much disrepair, they're probably not here legally.
Now you're catching on.
Unless this is a Grey Garden situation, in which case they won't be happy to see us anyways. So either way, around the back.
I don't know what that is. Let's go.
So just to clarify for me, you're going into the gates and then around the back of the house inside the fence line, or are you traveling outside the fence line to go around the back?
Inside.
I think it's
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you make your way into the sort of front gates here, you get your first glimpse of the unobstructed glimpse of Tresendar Manor, and it is predominantly stone with a few areas of wood that have been built up, much of which is decaying and crumbling. There is a large sort of double-doored entrance with sort of a deep vestibule that sits at the center of a tower that forms the front entrance of this. There are towers on either of the front corners, and the entire front of the building is just crawling with overgrown and on one side of the building completely dead ivy. As you make your way towards the path and around the building, hoping to get a view of the outside, Bree, go ahead and make one more. Just make a survival check for me, if you would, please.
Okay.
I go ahead.
7.
7. Yeah. You look around and don't see much that really catches your eye here. You're a bit distracted at the moment by the building itself. As the rest
The only thing I was going to say is if I don't. This is like a question about how rangers work. Isn't your preferred enemy type humans or humanoids or something?
Humans and elves.
Humans and elves. And I'm wondering if that would give advantage on a survival check because isn't it about tracking?
I think that's a level 3 thing.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. Anyway,
that is indeed a feature and absolutely a rule, but I do not think that she has that yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
A brief glance into your own future strikes you strangely, and then you shrug it off and continue around the outside of this old building. As you do, you can see there's several areas where the bushes at the side of the building have begun to overgrow. There's a few areas where the walls themselves have been caved in or fallen, and you can see into sort of the dark interior of the manor beyond. Inside, just chancing a glance, you can see there's several fallen beams, lots of broken masonry on the ground. Many of the trees and old flower beds that were probably once taken care of with a great degree of pride are now left in either complete desiccation, dried and dead, or completely overrun by invasive flora. As you continue around the back, you get to a second sort of set of double doors that look like they probably once had glass panes in them, but now you can see into sort of a large interior living room in the back with a large stone chimney that's been partially collapsed. Inside, you can see, again, there's much of the second story has collapsed into this chamber, and there's a large sort of stone patio, all of the cobblestones between which have much grass that's sort of grown out in between them. It's all very overgrown. If someone would like to make a perception check for me, please do.
I can.
Can we both do one?
Yeah, you can either both do one, or one can give advantage to the
I
other.
can help Glass.
We could either way.
Okay. Let me help you, Glass. Why don't you roll?
All right. 18.
18. Looking around, you can see that the path between the road where you entered and that you had walked on, you hadn't really noticed it. You were just sort of following it by instinct, but there's almost a pathway that's here. It's not a sidewalk. It's not something that was constructed at the time that the building was made. It's a foot traffic path that seems to have a degree of recent travel on it. And it leads from the road at the front of the house, around the side, and then turns off just behind you where you just stepped off it, and leads over to what appears to be a set of cellar doors that would open, that are sort of set down at an angle.
We gotta. It's getting spookier. We got the cellar door that we can go through. You guys want to check
You
it
ever
out?
notice what a beautiful pair of words those are?
You know, if I had to guess, I would say those are perhaps the most beautiful words in common language.
Yeah.
Glass is doing this. Yeah. Can I put my ear up to the cellar door to listen and see if I hear anything?
If you'd like to do that, go for it.
19.
19. You sit and you listen for a moment, and beyond the occasional sound of the crickets in the grass near you and the settling of the old house as it sort of it seems almost like it's creaking and moving just in the wind and doing everything it can to try to bring itself down at this point. The rest of your party goes quiet for a moment, and you listen, and You don't hear anything that sounds like movement or voices from below, but it does sound a little bit like running water.
Sounds like there's water down there, but I don't hear anything
Maybe a
moving.
trickle or a drip. Nothing as powerful as a stream.
Sure.
I find it hard to believe somebody left the tap on. Unless there was somebody else here recently. Do we,
Or someone is here now.
or someone is here now?
I'm gonna just look at everyone as I like put a hand on the cellar door. All right.
Yeah, let's. You know what? Just go for it.
Let's break and enter, I guess.
Why not? You know? Live a little.
The door
All right.
opens into darkness, and you can see a set of masonwork stairs that lead down into this darkness.
Think this was Pip's tunnel.
Could be.
What is a basement? But
Or
Say again.
oh, nothing important. Sorry. So, do you want one of either Glass or me to go first, since we have dark vision?
Yeah.
All right, I can get in front if y'all want to follow
Sure.
behind me.
Yeah.
I recognize I'm also the largest target of the party, so I can absorb any blows. should it
We'll
come to that.
protect you. It's okay. We got you.
All right, let's dive into this spooky hole.
Okay. If you will give me just a moment, I will go ahead and prepare a little bit of a visual aid for you here.
Ooh, an aid of the visual variety. How fancy.
My favorite kind.
Hmm.
Fancy, fantasy.
Oh, we are so close to 100 followers.
Ooh.
Sorry, I just looked down to the Twitch chat.
Number go up.
Number, go up!
Go up.
Number.
I love when there's a number and then it gets up.
98.
I love increasing.
You guys
Amber is
ever
thinking about
My
numbers.
software is being slow.
I'm trying to think of like
Oh no.
a really big number. That would be crazy.
Know what's messed up? I don't even think you can get a biggest number of all. I just think you keep going.
Everyone, let's all guess biggest number. I'm gonna say, I don't know, 40.
I'm gonna say an 8, but it's like the size of a mountain. That's a really big number.
Really tall number.
The biggest number is the one that's inside each and every one of us. in our
Maybe
hearts.
the real big number was the friends we made along the way, you know?
We were all the number.
Can you imagine if we were just like blowing a stealth check saying all this out loud?
Hey, I don't know, maybe whoever's here really likes math. Maybe they want to chip in.
Sharpening their swords.
Yeah, you'll laugh, but one day Evan is gonna actually do that to us.
I'm ready. I'll accept it when it comes.
We're gonna like be deep in some sort of like underground cavern, and some, you know, wraith is gonna ask us to like figure out what a cosine is. And
Oh,
then we're gonna be really in it.
okay.
Hate that.
As you descend down into the darkness, is there any light sources being crafted here, or are we dependent on our dark vision for those who have it?
Oh, I believe I have a torch in my adventurer's bag.
I could use prestidigitation if you want to hold on to your torch.
Oh, yeah, magic is cooler.
Yeah.
Go for that.
Can prestidigitation make light?
I don't think that it can.
I think it can increase.
I thought
There
I
are
could.
specific cantrips for that.
Yeah, I've got a lamp.
Oh, it's only if a candle is involved. Never mind.
Yeah.
Ah,
We're candle.
Lets you manipulate existing light, but I don't think
Okay.
that you create it. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you have a torch, go for it. As you pull your lamp out and light it, it clicks on. You use your you hold it up and you look into the next chamber, and you can see here the door leads into this 5-foot wide landing. above a large cellar with stone steps that descend on either side, form shelves, and then descend back into a central area. You can now see the source of the sound of the dripping and running water that you had heard before. There's a large stone cistern that sits in the middle of the room. And the walls on the cistern side are sort of lined with kegs and barrels. Additionally, you can see there is a, I guess Ambrose would be able to see this from where he is now, underneath the northern sort of pathway before it dips down. There's a doorway that leads underneath into another hallway of sorts.
This looks like it must have been some sort of storeroom at one point.
Yeah. I know what's in those barrels.
Yeah. Is that water fresh?
Yeah,
If you'd like to go check it out, you may.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Can I check out the water?
Yeah, check that water, Oleander.
Okay. I'll do an investigation check. Oh, that's a nat 20. I know everything there is to know about this water.
All right. So, looking at it, it's the rectangular reservoir is filled with clean, cold, and very fresh water. It's about 10 feet deep, very deep, with a rim about 2 feet higher than the surrounding floor. So it comes up to about your knees or just below your knees. Drain pipes from the old roof, you can see there's sort of the same shape, sort of lead into here and come out of the surface of the wall here. You can see them run along the ceiling and then down as a means of collecting rainwater here for the manor's use when it was in use. In addition to that, you can see with your sort of keen eyes, accustomed to seeing in the dark, it looks like about 2 feet below the surface of the water, on the wall absolutely closest to you, there is something that has been tied to the wall with rope.
That's strange. Can I reach in and grab the item?
Yeah, you do. It looks like it's a small burlap satchel that has just sort of been tied to a sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a tie-in on the side and then thrown into the water.
Mm-hmm. Can I open the sack?
Do you want to?
As you
My
open it,
endless curiosity demands that I see what's in the sack.
it sort of clinks and jangles as you pull it up, sounding like it has bits of metal and glass in it. And as you set it on the floor and untie the small burlap bundle at the top and open this piece of cloth containing everything, you can see there are 2 glass bottles inside of it, one of which looks like it has a reddish liquid that you recognize as a potion of healing.
Hey.
In addition to that, there is a small coin purse, which, as you take a peek at it, looks like it holds about 50 gold pieces.
All right. Cool. Well, okay.
And it
On the
also
one-
looks like the outside of this cloth had been coated in a good amount of either beeswax or oil or something to make it waterproof. In addition to that, there is an old and not in disrepair, but not exactly fashionable or modern-looking set of clothing.
Interesting. Okay. So this seems like it's, to me anyways, this seems like it was somebody's bug-out bag. It's like it's a quick and easy grab for somebody who wanted to leave town in a hurry and needed a change of clothes, some money, and medicine.
Can we tell what kind of body the clothes are made for? Human or dwarf or?
Make a investigation check.
Seven.
7. You hold them up to yourself. They're about your size.
Ah!
Guys, I think they're mine.
They might be
my
a
gosh.
little. They might be a little bit small for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well,
Should we put it back?
Well, I mean,
we're
Healing
already
potions are nice.
why?
We could keep the
Right.
healing potion and put the rest back. We have
My
so much
only-
gold. We have so much gold.
Yeah.
That's true.
Ambrose, as you sort of step forward and take a look at this, the other glass bottle there appears to be of the make and type to contain a potion, but you do not recognize it. It looks like it has a almost iridescent clear liquid in it.
Okay.
That's weird.
Would I be able to make an Arcana check?
You would be able to cast Identify.
Oh shoot. Okay. I don't have that. I think
Oh, I thought
about
you did.
how great it would be if I could identify things.
We'll resolve that. We'll just put that in there.
Okay.
I want to make
Why
sure
don't
at
we
least
take this-
someone in the group has Identify. So
Why don't we take this with us for now, and then we can decide what to do with it when we find out if there's anybody else here in this mansion.
I think so. I wouldn't mind giving this back to someone who
Needs it.
needs it, but if this helps us figure something out, then
Yeah.
Or
And if this
saber.
is indeed a building where nobody lives, then I mean, finders keepers, right?
she's learning.
The ancient law.
You're getting so good at crime.
Is there anything that denotes that this water? Well, no. I mean, I feel like we know that someone's been down here for that satchel, and that's all I was going to try to figure out is has anyone been down here? But I think we know that.
My question is, perhaps a more esoteric one. If this is a mansion that hasn't been used in years, and somebody wanted to hide a bug out bag here, why would they go through the effort of hiding it inside of the water cistern? Why not just leave it in one of the main rooms or something?
there's also like tons and tons of like barrels and crates in this room as
No,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
It seems odd.
Are any of the barrels or crates openable? Easily openable?
Make an investigation check.
Oh boy. 12.
You make your way over to one of the barrels, and it looks like the top on it is loose. Don't have to roll more than a 12 to know that. Do you want to look inside?
Yeah.
Inside, you can see it looks like it is full of provisions, flour, cured meats, cornmeal, that sort of thing. All of it in much better condition than the building around you.
Someone's been using this room heavily, it seems like.
That's strange.
I worry that we're gonna like turn around and there's gonna be somebody standing there with a knife or a the arrow shooty thing.
A bow?
Yes.
Again, the wordsmith.
Listen, Ambrose is a fan of the dark.
That's the most Ambrose response to like, what, I use magic. I don't know what it's called.
Points and it, whoosh.
You know how they throw the arrows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ambrose
Might wanna be
definitely he like mispronounces French words because he's only ever seen them in books.
That's adorable.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
wars.
We're going to need a little bit of savior fare to get through this.
Oh.
Wow.
All right. I just kind of thinking about that. I think I'll start making my way out
Okay.
if you guys are ready.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
as you turn to leave, Glass, your ear pricks up and turns in one direction towards the door that is on the wall just to the side. Yeah, you hear little cat noise. The door just to the right-hand side on the northern side of the cistern.
Oh, those
The
are
other
doors.
side of
Okay.
it. Yeah, sorry. Here, I will do this. I think that's probably a little easier to see.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Here you go.
The one near Oleander?
The one near Oleander. So I'm just going to move
Okay.
Oleander there. The door that is right in front of this space.
I see.
In addition to that, there is that sort of passageway that goes underneath these stairs and north as well.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I would have motioned to leave if there was more.
That's why I brought this up. But this was going to happen. Regardless of if you left or not, you do hear something that sounds like something sort of clattering to the ground. The other side of that door.
Do we maybe want to kill the lights? Or
Sure.
do we want to run?
I don't want to run, I don't think.
I kind of want to see who's here.
Okay.
Why don't we kill the lights and hide?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
This is a stealth check, I assume?
Yeah, everybody go ahead and make a stealth check.
All
Addition to
right.
that,
Stealthy stealth, baby.
tell me where all of you would like to be placed to be hidden.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and hide behind one of the barrels on the north side there.
Okay, so right next to the door.
Right in
Oh yeah.
the murder spot.
Ooh. I got an 18 plus 2, which is not a nat 20, but a 20 all the
Nice.
same.
Excellent.
Yeah, I like to hide. I'd like to hide in the opposite set of barrels across from where Bree is.
Okay. They're kind of tightly packed, and you're not a small individual.
Never mind. Why don't I hide behind one of the staircases?
Okay, that'll work. Sort of
Out of the
tuck
line
down
of sight of
out here.
the door.
Yeah, so there's
that's
a sort of
glass.
a...
Oh, that's glass.
That's glass. Not.
Oh, that's glass.
Like, I'll move.
And where did you want
There
to
we
be
go.
glass?
Yes.
I'll be
Two of the
right
letters
up
are
those
round. I
stairs.
can't tell them apart.
I'm sorry. I should have picked an X name or something.
I'll be. I got a 17, and I'll be on the north side, right up those stairs, kind of hiding around that corner
Okay, right there.
with my crossbow.
Perfect. And Ambrose.
I got a 19.
Wow, great stealth checks, everybody.
Yeah, can't wait to die later. Um,
Can't wait for no one to come out.
can I go on the opposite side to Oleander, but also still hiding behind stairs with my big staff out for a whacking?
Sure. So from here, you can see that there's that sort of half set of stairs that leads up to the platform above you. And in addition to that, under that platform is a doorway that leads further into what appears from this angle to be a hallway.
Okay.
But yeah, as you all sort of get down and hunker down and make yourselves quiet, you snuff out the light, and as you glance back over towards the door, underneath the door you can see a very thin sliver, as your eyes begin to adjust, a very thin sliver of candlelight. And then it's gone.
All right.
So there's definitely somebody here.
How loose is the door behind me? Like, is it open?
It's
or is
just
it
an open archway.
Okay.
Yeah, just an open masoned archway with like that sort of platform, stairs up
Okay.
and then up again behind you.
Okay.
I will look at Ambrose and Oleander, seeing if I can catch their attention, just, visually. I don't know if Ambrose...
Well, I can see you.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ambrose can.
I can feel the wind shift.
I mean, you're like close. You could just do like a psst or something.
Yeah. I guess I'll just whisper. Hey, go in. Should we go in?
Yeah.
I might pick it up.
Bree is gonna go open the door.
Okay.
No.
Fuck this. I don't want to kill someone.
It's been 1 hour without bloodshed.
Yeah.
As you carefully creep forward and creak the door open, are you just opening it, just kicking it in? Are you trying to peek in? What's your goal here?
I'm gonna peek in subtly.
Okay. The door kind of creaks in. It doesn't look like there's any sort of a latch or a hinge on it or anything. Or there is a hinge, but there's no sort of latch or doorknob to be turned. As it creaks in, it's just sort of dark inside. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, if you would, please.
It's an 8.
8. Hold still for a moment. With the door just barely creaked open. You can't really see much aside from just sort of this vertical sliver of blackness. And you pause and listen for a moment, and it's just quiet. Then you hear sort of like a... sounds like someone breathing in whatever this next chamber may be. It's a waiting game at this point.
Uh-huh.
No, thank you. Is there any way we can get Bree's attention?
You can certainly try.
Okay. Do we want to though?
Yeah.
As you crouch by the door, Bree, you look in, and then you see a flash of movement on the inside. And suddenly you see stars. And the rest of you hear a as the door is kicked forward. I need you to go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh boy.
Oh, all of us?
No,
Alright.
just Bree.
Oh, okay, just Bree.
And then we're all going to roll for initiative.
Oh, okay.
no!
Yeah.
Alright. 15.
15? Okay. You manage to stumble backwards and catch yourself. The door is kicked open, and standing in front of you see a man just barely visible in the darkness for your... I forget, do you have dark vision? You do not, correct?
I don't.
You don't, yeah. So just barely visible, and whatever latent light is in this chamber, you can see the outline of a humanoid form that is standing over you, having just kicked the door into your face. It does deal to you 1 point of bludgeoning damage, as it catches you sort of at 1 point, yeah, just right in the face. I rolled very low.
Mhm.
And
Good.
yeah, we're going to go ahead and roll for initiative.
Okay, I got a 10 for initiative, by the way.
Okay.
I got a lucky number 13.
Mm.
I'm on the wrong layer, that's why. We're there.
Ah.
See inside, and remember that it is dark in this chamber. And then, all right, Ambrose, initiative.
13.
15. 3.
Bree.
Oh, 7.
7. Okay. Glass.
19.
Wow.
Nice. And Oleander.
I got a 10.
10. Alrighty. Some music adjusted here and start this off with the highest initiative. Glass, being able to see now in the dark, you can see this sort of grizzled and unshaven man who wears sort of a cloak, has kicked in the door and seems to have a short sword drawn. Having hit something and knowing something's in there, but sort of squinting into the darkness, he's not really able to see much at the moment. Battle music going here, and then what would you like to do on your turn?
Okay, can I see... Is this guy... Because Glass would be looking for this. Is this guy wearing a cloak? Like, I don't know if I can tell the color, but I'm assuming...
Dark vision is shades of gray, but there is
Right.
a cloak on his shoulders. You just don't know what color it is.
Okay. With my crossbow already out when I was waiting there, I'm just gonna take a step around the corner and aim it at him and just say, "Stand down if you want to live." And
Okay. Go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Okay. Oh! Fuck! 7.
7.
Awesome.
You don't hear a response yet because we are in dilated time, but we will get to whatever might happen on whoever that might be's turn. With that, do you want to do anything else on your turn? That's just your
I
action.
assume that's my action, right?
Yeah, that would be your action.
Yeah. No. Not yet.
Okay, fully deal. Alrighty. Holding your position there. I'll also say you probably stepped out to be visible, right? Or are you just yelling it from the shadows?
I guess I would step out and then go back into cover.
Okay, that's fair. With that, one of the other people inside here is going to go ahead and step up, and from where you are, Bree, you feel the door again sort of push against where your feet are. It is completely slammed open now, and you can hear the voices of at least a couple people inside and make out their forms in whatever very, very bit of darkness this is. But aside from that, it's really difficult to see. They can't really get past the man who just kicked in the door, but it is now that man's turn, who is going to, being unable to see, actually, the one before him is going to go ahead and pull out a torch. So now there is low light within 30 feet of him, and we will adjust that. For everywhere else, it's going to be dim light, so that will affect advantage, disadvantage for those of you without dark vision. This man in front of you now, being able to see, is going to take that short sword that he was wielding and bring it down on you, Bree. First one is a 13 to hit.
That does not hit.
All right. Sort of comes down on you, and it glances off the side of some of your leather armor, and he snarls in the darkness, and now you can see his face sort of backlit by this. You can see sort of the fire coming from behind where his ears are. He's mostly bald, sort of a white beard, and in the light now you can very clearly see that his cloak is indeed red. He's going to come at you for his second attack here, which is a 15 to hit.
That will hit.
That will hit, okay. 5 points of piercing damage to you.
Owie!
As the first one glances off, and then he comes back around with a backhand and does sort of catch you in the side of the ribs. That's his entire turn. Ambrose, the door is kicked in. There's certainly a flash of light, and you can see over in the distance, sort of behind where Bree is standing, just the vague outline of a man, and then another man behind him, and then more beyond in this room. What would you like to do?
Would I be able to leap forward and seeing this guy with this sword injuring Bree, would I be able to leap forward and pull Bree back a distance? My walking speed is 35, so I don't think I'd be able to get all the way back to where I was. But...
Yeah, you could make your way forward, and she could voluntarily fail the grapple to be dragged. Once you get to her, it's going to be half speed for movement, and getting there is going to cost you 25 feet.
That's
of movement.
me.
Oh, wrong one.
How many times am I going to do this tonight? For you, that's 25 feet of movement. What is your movement speed?
35.
35. Okay, so you'd be able to move her just 5 feet back, which would incur an attack of opportunity against her.
Okay. That probably wouldn't be a great
Imagine you get close, you go, I don't want to go.
Maybe. Yeah, I won't do that because I don't want Bree to get injured again. Can I fire ice knife, but fire it right at this dude's knees?
Yeah, if you would like to. That's go ahead and make your ranged spell attack.
Okay. Is that a... Says it's a... No, that's for damage. It's a 20 to figure out if it hits, right?
Yeah, 20 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll some damage.
Oh, no, I mean, I was asking what die type.
Oh, yeah, D20. Yeah, you're going to do your D20, and then let me pull up...
We're all having moments today. Oh. I didn't get a 16, though.
Nice. Yeah. So for you, was it a natural 16 or you rolled and then added your 6?
Oh, I didn't add my 6 yet.
Yeah, so at the top of your spells, it says modifier spell attack save DC. Anytime you roll your d20 for a spell attack, you get to add that spell attack bonus. So 16 plus 6 makes it a 22, which absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll damage. What does Ice Knife do? It is a d10 piercing damage. Oh, hit or miss the shard, then explodes. Okay.
Yeah, that's the right one. Ooh, got a 10.
Nice. So 10 points of cold damage to... and I'm sorry, were you aiming at R1 or R2?
R1, but like right at whichever knee is closest.
Okay.
I don't want to kill this guy yet, but
10 points of cold damage to him. With that, Bree, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, and so do the other, all 3 of them, because that knife, as soon as it hits him in the knee, does explode and deals damage in a 5-foot radius.
To
you can do it.
To everyone, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Uh-oh.
that's.
You gotta roll.
So let's see. I've got a bonus for dex saves. That's a 9, a 15, and a 19. What is your save DC's a 14? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the 9 fails, which was R1.
Okay.
So he takes an additional. Go ahead and roll 2 more d6, and he'll take that additional damage.
wow.
Wow. This dude is like dead.
6 and 3. So 9.
9. How do you want to do this?
Cool.
Murdered this guy.
I tried.
Wow.
So thinking in his kind heart, thinking that Ambrose is helping, firing off this ice knife, unfortunately causes this dude to freeze from the inside out, and you can Amber's just staring into I mean, I guess we have dim light, right? Would I be able to see like the light go out of his eyes as this guy dies?
He's backlit, but yeah, you're able to see this man just sort of go down, just freeze into place as that ice knife hits him, shatters and explodes, and sends shrapnel of tiny, sharp ice particles. Bree, what did you have for your dex save?
Let's find out.
Don't die.
That was 16.
16, you do save. You do not take that additional 9
Great.
points of damage.
Good.
Careful with those AoEs.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right, Ambrose,
fun.
is there anything else you would like to do on your turn?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Regret your actions.
Sort of
Yeah,
freezes solid
trauma.
and just doesn't quite go down, but is now just almost a statue. It is now your turn, Oleander. What would you like to do?
Right. I'm going to run up to the cistern, and I'm going to take a handful of water, and I'm going to cast Armor of Agathis on myself.
Ooh.
A protective magical force surrounds me, manifesting as a spectral frost that covers me and my gear. I gain 5 temporary hit points for the duration. If a creature hits me with a melee attack while I have these hit points, the creature takes 5 cold damage.
Nice.
Sick.
As you approach where Bree's standing sort of near the edge of this, you can feel just in that area there's still this chill. Already in this sort of subterranean cellar that you're in, it has that sort of dank, cool underground feeling, but here it is dry and cold, and you can still feel the sort of frosty remnants in the air from Ambrose's spell. And as you sort of spoon a handful of water out of the cistern, you sort of cast it across yourself, and you watch as this icy form sort of bursts out from your shoulders and covers you in the sheen of ice, which in the low torchlight you can see there's just a vague bit of smoke coming off of it. It's pretty fucking cool.
That's awesome.
So now you have that. Any bonus actions or anything else you would like to do?
I'm going to say to the other 2 guys, last chance. If you don't want to end up like your friend there, drop your weapons and come out of here and we can talk this out.
I would say you could make a check to try to intimidate, but you already used your action, so we'll have to make that be flavored text, unfortunately.
That's
actually,
fine.
You know what? It's more fun that way. Make an intimidation check.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to be a 7.
That's what I got.
Maybe not that intimidating.
I just
You
imagine
better not.
I just imagine like during mine, it's like, you're stand down, and then like yours is followed by like a little toot or
What
something.
did you say?
Only ruining our.
Well,
What
really
did you
cool,
say? A little
okay?
toot. Yeah, I just rolled a contested insight check against that, and the person who was going to go next is not shaken by this.
Yeah.
Although it is a
Probably
fearsome
not.
display, not quite enough to bring him down. He's going to then go ahead and step forward into the space where his frozen compatriot is and sort of push him to the side, knocking his form over into the barrels here, and step up to take his place. Just moving.
No respect for the dead. Fuck you, Jim.
Well,
Yes, we
he
know
tries
what
to
we're
move
dealing
him, but doesn't expect him to just sort of flop over like a statue. And you can see a brief flash of concern on his face, as in the same motion he does bring the short sword down on you again, Bree.
Jeez,
All right.
That's gonna be a 18 to hit.
That will hit.
That one is only, let's see, 3 points of piercing damage. And I will say that shoving his ally out of the way cost him his second attack there, since that was sort of a free action I gave him. With that, it is now your turn. You stand now in front with this sort of toppled statue laying diagonally across this doorway, leaned up on some barrels. You have one of these red-cloaked men standing in front of you who's just struck at you with a sword. What do you want to do?
All right.
Every time.
Lots happened.
Time for the murdering.
I love that Glass and Oleander were like trying to be tough about it, and Ambrose just dropped a guy with one hit.
Like, you better not. And everyone's like,
I don't know my own strength.
All right. Just because I can do it now, I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark on this guy in front of me.
hey, there you go. Okay, so you are concentrating on that, correct? That's concentration?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bonus, right?
And is there any sort of a form or description or anything you want to give to the way you cast Hunter's Mark?
Yes. Casting Hunter's Mark is like this. Like,
Okay.
I got you. And like a
Little
big a big glowing like yellowy green crosshairs like shimmers into the air, just like hovering over this guy's head.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bree just has like Terminator vision. Hands up after getting the shit beat out of her.
You've been marked for extermination. Okay, yeah, you cast Hunter's Mark as your bonus action. What would you like to do for your action
Hell yeah.
and or movement?
Do I don't have to like roll for that or anything, do I?
No, it just
It's
happens.
just
I'm pretty
okay,
sure it
cool.
just happens. It's been a minute since I've DM'd a Hunter,
Yeah.
but I think that's the case.
Yep.
Yep,
I think
it
so.
just happens. They were just
Sick.
the only downside to Hunter's Mark and the way it can go away is if you lose concentration.
Right. Okay. Also apparently it's verbal, so I'm gonna like mutter something in halfling that roughly translates to like, my family will dine upon your flesh or something.
God. Okay.
Oh god.
I don't know if anybody else speaks halfling, but you hear sort of a series of like hoi ta 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 ta.
That's exactly right. Awesome.
Why is she telling him where her pot of gold is?
All right.
Am
and
I allowed
then
to make halflings Irish? I don't know.
I don't know.
The debate rages on.
Yeah, and then I'm going to take a swing with one of my short swords.
Okay, go for it.
Big old 10.
10.
Although what does Hunter's Mark do for me?
Hunter's Mark
Give me
deals
something.
more damage.
Oh, okay,
gives you
okay.
bonus damage, and it allows you to track them much easier.
Right, okay.
As you go to swing at this, even having this mark on it, the man does use the door frame and the door to his advantage and sort of pulls it shut. Your sword clanks off of it. And
Do you get 2 attacks?
he just one attack at this point, right? Wait, didn't you take...
Since she's dual wielding?
yeah, don't you get your offhand attack? Oh, no, it would have been 2 weapon fighting, would have been your bonus action. Use your bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark. So.
Right.
Okay.
Fine. I still have my movement, right?
You do, yes.
Okay. I'm just because this just because this feels a little bottlenecky here. I'm gonna back up and back against some of the other barrels in that corner there.
Okay, so to your northeast.
Yes.
Okay. He is going to take a swing at you as you back away without disengaging with a natural 3, which will miss. So, do you want to be here or do you want to be one more over?
One more over.
There? Perfect. Alrighty. That is your turn. Back to the top of the order. Glass, what would you like to do?
Okay. I am gonna... boy, I guess I don't have sight on Bree right now because she's on the other side of this wall.
You're not. That's correct.
Okay. So I will get to the kind of the southeast corner of the cistern here.
Okay. You here?
One more down.
There? Gotcha. Okay, now you have view on everybody in the room.
Great. So I will... I will, seeing Bree take all those hits before she took some cover. I will look over to her and, draw a hand motion and pass a Cure Wounds over to her. Oh wait, no, Cure Wounds is fucking touch, isn't it?
Touch range spell, yeah.
Whoops.
Okay.
If you want to, you would have probably enough movement to do that, but you don't exactly know. Well, you would know where she is as soon as you step to there.
Yeah.
So if you want to rush over, touch her, and then move, you can.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
So I'll rush over.
15. Go ahead and roll for the Cure Wounds.
Okay. Cure Wounds is a D8.
You're a good person.
Okay. Bree, you get 7 points of health back.
All right.
All right, and while I'm over there, I'm just gonna kind of you got this. Who likes to rock the party? You like to rock the party. Yeah. Inspire her as well.
Okay, awesome. There's your action, bonus action, and that's 15 feet of movement. Your other 15 will get you exactly where you wanted to go.
Awesome.
Because you have 30
Great.
feet, right?
Yeah, I do.
Perfect.
Thank
Okay.
you.
With that, it is this other man's turn who's just going to step around his friend into the room and make his way up to you again, Bree. I don't know what you're doing in here, but I think it's time you left. And he's going to come down on you again with another short sword attack. That is a 21 to hit.
That will hit.
That is 5 points of piercing damage. And then he will step around and slicing at you once, and then come around with a backhand saying, "You're tall friend too!" Oleander with a 9 to hit, which I believe misses you.
That does miss me.
And remind me, with Armor of Akathis, is that when you are hit with an attack, or just when you are targeted with an attack?
Is when I'm hit with an attack.
Okay, so that one did
And it
miss
has to be a melee attack, so if it's magic or ranged, I'm SOL.
Gotcha. That one did miss you, unfortunately, so it doesn't trigger that. And then that's
Well,
his
Fortunately, I still have it.
Yeah. And now, Ambrose, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay.
The ice knife worked pretty well last time.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm a big fan of that. I was initially hoping that maybe these people would listen to reason, but if they're targeting both of my friends,
They're not seeming very reasonable.
no, they're not, which is unfortunate.
You did also talk a bunch of trash to him that rolled off, so that might have made him a little angry.
Yeah. You know what? Let's cast Ice Knife again for funsies.
Okay. Who would you like to target with Ice Knife?
The one that's targeting Bree and Oleander, R2.
Okay. Are you sure?
We are
No,
next to
wait,
him.
shoot. Okay.
We are next
Yeah,
to him.
yeah. I forgot about the explosions.
If you don't want to do that again.
Yeah, that would be not great.
No.
Let me just go with Witch Bolt instead.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So Witch Bolt at R2, is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, also, Bree, you were just hit, correct?
Yes.
In the last turn, so go ahead and make a concentration check for me. Forgot about that.
yeah.
Percentage mark.
Is that a D20?
So it's a Constitution saving throw,
Okay.
and you have to roll more than a 10.
She's good.
Oh yeah. I'm good.
So you maintain concentration, no problem. All right. So what is your roll to hit on R2 with Witch Bolt, Ambrose?
I got a 16.
16. Yeah, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll some damage.
Yeah.
And you are also now concentrating on Witch Bolt.
Using my big brain. It's 12. Yep, 6.
6 points of damage. Nice. And what type of damage is that again? Is it lightning or necrotic or something? I can never remember with Witch Bolt.
I believe it's 1d12 lightning damage,
Nice.
and on each of my turns, I can use my action to deal another 1d12 lightning damage.
Right. So on the next turn, since you're concentrating on it, you can just keep pumping that damage in. You don't have to roll to hit again.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Any bonus actions or movement for you?
No, I'm good where I am. You know,
Okay. Cool deal.
comfy.
Just sort of take out your wand and, or I think you use your wand, right, for this? That's what you said before.
The quarterstaff or the book.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Quarterstaff is probably more appropriate for this.
Okay. And this beam of lightning, very Palpatine style, strikes out and just arrests this man with a bunch of arcs of electricity across his body, and you can see it sort of burns in several areas. Bree, looking up closer to you, watches his eyes go wide in pain. Very much not prepared for whatever the fuck this is.
Don't threaten my friends.
That Oleander, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
I'd like to. The question is, do I want to ice this guy or not? Well, we got a third guy back there who we can keep alive for questioning, I guess. So,
Yeah.
If Witch Bolt don't kill him.
But there's also the sanctity of sentient life to consider. But he did try to kill me, so whatever. I'm gonna back up a little bit. About we're gonna say about 10 feet back to where the stairs are.
Okay.
In
You
front
will
of the
take an attack of
stairs, just so
opportunity.
I'm sorry.
You will take an attack of opportunity from R2, since he's within.
Well, the
5
thing
feet.
is, can I fire Eldritch Blast point blank? Because I think I take a penalty on that too, right?
You can, but it is disadvantaged since there's somebody within 5
Yeah,
feet.
yeah. Well, I'd rather take the attack of opportunity if I back up.
Okay, cool. And so you back up.
makes
He's going to
sense.
swing at you with a 14 to hit.
I think that hits.
Yeah, I'm a 13 armor class, so yeah, it
13.
hits.
So that does hit, which also triggers your Armor of Agathis, I think dealing how many points of
That is 5 cold damage.
So 5 points of cold damage to him, which damn near puts him out. And on this sword strike that he does hit you with, you will take 5 points of piercing damage.
Okay, so 5. That's to my armor, or that's to me? Because I get 5 extra points of hit points from the armor.
Yeah. So those are gone now, and Armor of Agathis is now dissipated. The ice that had formed on you. So let's say he had only done 3 points of damage to you. You'd still have 2, and each time you get hit while that's up, it deals 5 points of damage.
Okay, but I'm asking, like, so I don't have the armor left, but do I have any hit points go down?
Nope. It just takes away your... It's like your hit points and then 10 hit points on top of that. So those are gone.
Sorry.
But you still have your health. Yeah.
Sure.
No, that's a good question.
Cool.
That's cool.
Cool. Just for clarification's sake, so things go smoother.
Very cool.
All right. Cool.
And then where did you want to back up to?
I was going to back up to in front of the stairs up to the second landing. Around the corner from where Amber is. Right there is good. Yeah. Cool. And I'm going to ready a good old reliable Eldritch Blast in my hand, and I'm gonna be like, time for a little bit of Red Dead Redemption, and I'm gonna zap him with that.
All right, go ahead and roll the hit.
It's gonna be a 11.
11 to hit. Unfortunately, he dodges out of the way.
Damn it.
Armor class. Yeah. Your blast, as he dodges out of the way, does slam into the side of his long frozen compatriot, shattering him into several pieces that now sort of tinkle across the ground like several shards of glass. It's not pretty. Anything else on your turn?
That is it.
We'll use it up. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
With that, this next one's going to come up and just sort of look over at that one and be like, Carl! I'll kill you for that! And make his way up. Honestly, I guess to you, Bree, since you're kind of the first person there and getting ganged up on, it's really hard.
What I'm there for.
That's your job.
Our moody little halfling.
That's going to be a 16 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 6 points of piercing damage. And then one more strike, the natural 4, which will miss you.
Well.
Or comes down with his sword on you, and how are you looking?
I'm not great, but I'm not down.
Okay, good to know. With that, it is your turn. You got these two right up on you. Concentration check for Hunter's Mark for me, please.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, that is, it Constitution?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's a Constitution saving throw, so you might have a bonus. It's a +2 for you.
Yeah, 4.
4, yeah. Unfortunately, the sort of hovering recticle, or I forgot what you said, crosshairs that's above the bands, in your vision does disappear, and you feel the spell drop as the pain from the wound does sort of break your concentration long enough for the spell to fail. All right, so what do you do on your turn?
All right. Yeah. So Bree, I'm looking a little rough, and I wanted to ask also, do either of these guys look familiar? I don't know if that's okay to ask in the middle of combat.
You look at the two that are sort of in front of you, and in the heat of battle, it's hard to tell, especially since I think it's it's R2 that has the torch, so he has that up with one hand and the sword in the other. You can get a good look at him. It looks like his face is sort of badly scarred on one side. The other one is just sort of a dark-haired man. The other one, with the darker hair, does look like one of the individuals that you had seen that had catcalled you on your ride into town.
Oh, I remember that. All right. Well, I'm gonna pick myself up and say, man, you guys really get around, huh? And gonna take a swing at R2 in front of me.
All right, go for it.
Um, 12.
Well, you've got.
Oh.
You got.
Inspiration?
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah. What is it?
D6.
Yeah, I have not told you if that hits or misses yet, so anytime
Correct.
before that you can use it.
Okay. So What was it? 12. So 14 to hit.
14 is exactly what you needed.
All right.
That is his armor class. Go ahead and roll some
Beautiful.
damage.
That inspiration really came in clutch.
Makes me feel like a bard.
All right. Now I get to figure out what's a D8 again. This one.
It's a D6 for a short sword.
That's correct.
Sorry.
Is it okay if I roll the D6 instead?
Yeah,
Oh, come on. All right, big 4 points of damage.
You only had 2 hit points left. How do you want to do this?
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Get him!
Get him, Cletus!
Get him!
Oh, kill him!
Kill him!
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's dead. Oh God.
Please have that be your relationship with Glass. It's just the big burly man from Gravity Falls, and Glass is a little like, ooh, get him!
Oh, shoot him! Sorry. How do you do this? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Killing him up good.
You been murdering.
I always have to remember that I'm like waist height to all these people.
Not even, yeah.
Fucking, take both his knees out.
Okay, yeah. As you do so, he stumbles and falls backwards, and as he falls backwards, you hear a sickening crack as his skull makes contact with that raised rim around the outside of the cistern, and there's a few drops of dark red that begin to muddy the waters.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Anything else on your turn? You do have your offhand now, since you have your bonus action, or you can do anything else with your bonus action if you want to.
I sure do. All right. Instead of doing that, I'm gonna turn to good old Mr. R3 over here, and I'm gonna kind of gesture like, "Come on." And see. What am I gonna say? I'm gonna say, you were outnumbered before, but you're really outnumbered now. If you drop it, maybe you can make it out of here alive.
Go ahead and make an intimidation check. I'll give you advantage on this one since he has one shattered and one dead on the ground ally around him to prove your point.
You can re-roll that.
I can re-roll that one. All right.
Fucking halflings, man. Triple advantage
It's
on that,
still not-
basically.
Yeah, for a super advantage, that was pretty terrible.
Yeah, I rolled 3 times and got a 5.
Oh, 5 plus total?
5 plus 0.
5!
Harsh.
You better
rough.
stop!
We're like the least intimidating gang in this fight.
That's how we keep
You know,
getting away
it's-
with murder.
It's the lighting. It's low lighting. It's not
Yeah,
flattering.
that's what
It doesn't make you
Yeah.
look scary. Yeah, he's gonna look down at you and be like, "You killed both of my friends." And that's all he gets out in the dilated time that we experienced during combat. At the top of the order, Glass, it is now your turn. What would you like to do? After that, it's going to be Ambrose and then Oleander, unless, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna run up and tackle him.
Cool.
If you're gonna try to grapple him, go ahead and make. I'll just do contested strength checks for the two of you. You can use your athletics if you would like to.
Oh, that strength.
What a big difference my athletics makes. Ah, it does. +1. 11.
11. It's better than his 3.
Oh,
Yes!
all right.
To rush up, you are able to wrap both arms around him and to try to pull him to the ground. If you're trying to get him prone, make one more athletics check for me.
Sure.
Also contested.
15.
15, better than his 13. You manage to wrestle him down to the ground, now wrapping him up, and he is underneath you with you sort of wrapped up around him. What do you want to do or say? He is prone, and so are you, just so you know.
If you aren't going to listen to reason, you're going to listen to force. and just tug him down and just look up and wait for my teammates to do whatever's next.
Okay. That, Ambrose, what would you like to do?
I want to...
Yep.
Okay, so quick question.
Mhm.
For things that I have proficiency in, when it says I have a +2 to that, do I add that to whatever I would roll to hit or to damage?
Give me an example specifically about what you're asking about.
Well, I want to run up and I want to kick him in the ribs.
Okay.
I'm proficient with unarmed strikes, and I have
Okay.
a +2 in that.
Your proficiency for your unarmed strikes comes from your feature with your horns. So you could headbutt him
Okay.
if you wanted to, using that proficiency bonus. Otherwise, it's just going to be a regular unarmed strike without
Okay.
proficiency.
Yeah, it just said proficient with unarmed strikes, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I can run up and ram him in the ribs. I'm short enough.
Yeah. And, okay. Yeah, if you want to do that, go
Oh,
for it.
goaded.
Okay.
He is on the ground, and this is a melee attack, so you do have advantage.
Oh,
And
okay.
we're grappled anyway, so he would also.
Also advantage from grappling, yeah.
Ooh, got an 18.
18,
All
yeah,
right.
that'll definitely hit.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll damage. I think
Okay.
for you, it's a D4, isn't it?
Yeah, 1d4 plus 1.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. That'll be a 4.
Nice, so 5 points of damage. You
No, just 4.
Oh, just 4 total? Okay.
Just 4,
Glass,
yeah.
as you rush over and tackle him and drag him to the ground, you just hear a sort of a heavy whump next to you, and as you glance over, you can now see as Ambrose is sort of pushing himself off the ground, and the man in your grasp is struggling to breathe. He has very much had the wind knocked out of him by Ambrose's horns. Ambrose, anything else? You are now over there and prone with the rest of... Actually, Glass would be there.
Yeah, I might be. I was imagining I was behind him.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. Y'all are really ganged up on him. Anything else on your turn, Ambrose, before you move over to Oleander?
So am I prone or this guy is prone?
How much movement was that for you? I'll say that was only... Did you come from there?
Yeah.
It costs half of your movement to stand back up. So
Okay.
I'll say you are exactly there and standing. And that's all
Okay.
of your movement.
Yeah, I just want to stand back up and prepare myself for whatever comes next.
Okay, cool. With that, Oleander, there is a just pile of bodies over here, all sort of circled around this hapless man who has done considerable damage to your group. The torch from the one who had fallen before now lays on the ground and sort of uplights this entire spectacle before you. What do you want to do?
Right. Well,
Just imagining it like recess, like everybody jumping on one
yeah.
guy.
Are we keeping this guy alive, gang?
I mean, at this
Sure.
point, he's struggling as best he can, but also having trouble breathing, and his eyes are wild and wide and just sort of glancing around at all of you, not really able to move or do much.
He's
Yeah.
about to have a heart attack.
I pick up the torch and I walk over and I pick up the torch and I say, "All right, Bucko, you're going to tell us exactly what we want to know, okay? Any funny stuff, and you're going to end up like your friends here. Capiche?"
Alrighty, go ahead and make your intimidation check with advantage. You got this, y'all. Come on.
This time.
Come on, advantage, baby. Mwah. That was even worse. I got a 14 for intimidation.
14.
14. That's good enough. As you watch as the man's
Finally.
eyes go wide, he very slowly ceases his struggle, and you just watch him sort of spit out a gob of blood onto the floor, being held by you, still Glass. Says, "What is it you want?
Awesome.
What are you even doing down here?"
We want to know why is your gang holed up in this mansion?
Pretty good spot to hold yourself up, don't you think?
We'll give him that.
All right. Simpler question. Why you got a gang?
Awesome.
Well, humans are naturally social creatures.
What's with the stupid capes?
We're red brands.
Easy. One question at a time.
One question at a time. I'm gonna overwhelm my little NPC brain here.
He's been through a lot. Thanks to
I've
us.
got
Like tests.
I have an important note thing I need to pull up here really quickly. Here we go. So what was the first question? What they're doing down here, or
Yeah. And just basically, what are the red brands? I mean, why do you have a gang? Was what I asked.
I don't know, why does anybody have a gang? To take what we want and make a bunch of money. Get to have a little fun in the process.
Does
Wish I
that,
could ask this buddy how many hit points he has left so I could punch him.
Just so everybody knows, in cases like this where you want to interrogate somebody, just for future reference, if you want to do melee damage to someone, you can just say beforehand you want to do non-lethal damage, and that will knock them out, like with a flat of the sword or like a punch to the head or something like that, as opposed to knocking them below their hit point and killing them.
okay, cool.
Noted.
Does that have anything to do with any missing townsfolk? That fun you mentioned?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't, huh?
Do I believe that?
Insight check.
What's that?
Make
Insight.
an insight check.
Yeah, I'm gonna insight check that too. Or I can help you, Glass, if you like.
Either way, I think I'm not particularly bright. Oh, or am I?
He is
Natural
today.
20.
Hey!
Yeah, this guy's lying through his teeth.
All right. Cool.
He
So
watches his eyes sort of dart back and forth before he says, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just gonna still holding him. I'm just gonna squeeze him and say, "That sounds like a bunch of shit."
Ooh.
I think your friend with the horns broke my ribs. Easy. All right. Yeah, there's more of us down here. You ain't never gonna find them.
Yeah.
we're gonna find him.
Work.
Gonna do
And,
something.
If you want to see what daylight looks like again, you're gonna tell me where you hid those folks.
Make a... Yeah, that'd be intimidation again. Make an intimidation check.
Oh, how's a 11?
That's his insight, which is going to be a disadvantage right now. That's a natural 1.
Hey! He poops his pants.
He watches him just sort of grits his teeth and licks these sort of dry, calloused-looking lips. Well, I don't want to tell you nothing, 'cause Mama didn't raise no liar, but I can show you where to go if you want to go check it out for your own lonesome selves. I ain't going with you. You can kill me right here if you want me to go anywhere with you.
Should we little toe this guy?
I don't have any more baguettes.
No, with the
first
rope.
part. The other
thing.
Wow, deep cuts.
Yeah, it probably doesn't sound good if you just tuned in.
I love that
You just turn him into a big tube, a big mummy, but with a rope.
That brings to mind a DeviantArt post that I'm not going to talk
You better not. I don't want to say it because this is a family program.
Is it?
Well, we say
It sure
fun,
is.
but other than that,
Next room. Okay.
Anyway,
what? Listen, you're gonna show us where those folks are, and in return, we'll let you keep your sorry life. But you better not be lying, or else my kitty cat friend here is gonna show you how sharp his claws are.
he just let out a really weird cat sound.
No need to roll at this point. I'm not going to keep making you guys do intimidation or
yeah.
whatever. But
It's flavor text. It's just,
well, we
yeah.
got a handful of captives, but they're in there near the old crypts. And when I say I'm not going in there, I mean it, because I got skeletons in there.
Okay, man.
Okay.
You got one of those inside of you.
Would you?
Well, this one doesn't have anybody on the outside of it.
Have you asked?
What kind of wizard's tool did you go? That like turn to Ember's like.
Just kind of shrugs. Bones.
I'd like to ask our prisoner something.
I'm not, okay, so yeah, kind of prisoner.
Well assessed. Have you seen any dwarves?
Like that one? And he points at you, Bree.
Oh boy. No, he hasn't seen any dwarves.
No.
All
We're looking for two men.
Where we find the old crypts that these folks are holed up in.
You can find him at the end of the hall that you follow if you just go through that archway over there.
All right.
Thanks for your cooperation, Bree. And I do a little gesture like knock him out.
More broccoli? Sorry. I immediately thought of Emperor's New Groove.
God.
Boy. Awesome.
I'm gonna go, whoa. Before it lights out, what's your name?
Dude.
I have a list of
Yeah.
fun names for this purpose
Gorb.
specifically.
Creep grab.
Is it Echo?
Beefus.
Zombie.
You can call me Fergus.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I absolutely will call you Fergus. Even if that wasn't your name, I would call you that.
All right.
Let's not hear any more shit from Fergus. All right, team?
All right, team.
All right.
Um,
Bree?
Do the honors.
Even though it's completely unnecessary, I'm gonna kneel on this guy's chest and all his broken ribs.
Ow!
Even with your relatively lightweight body, as you do this, you can hear multiple somethings crunching under your weight, and he just ow, god damn it!
I'm being killed by a marshmallow.
I meant knock him out, not keep him awake in pain.
And then if you're gonna knock him out, go ahead and make it just an attack roll to hit him.
All right. Yeah. That is. I'm gonna say unarmed.
Yeah.
Strike there. So 18.
18.
You pop his head off.
Just pommel to the temple or
Yeah,
something.
I'll just do a general Constitution saving throw for him. You pop him in the head. He says, "Ow! What the hell was that?" I guess he can't really get his arms up, but you do have to get someone to 0 hit points to be able to knock them unconscious.
Oh.
And he has not yet been hit until now, which is 1 point of damage.
Well,
Until now.
Can we all just start
he has
it?
Oh man.
Right. Well,
This guy has not been hit.
just let him up and get him out of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's free. What if he tells his friends and they come for us?
Oh yeah.
Well, Fergus, are you gonna do that?
Can we break his knees?
Are you gonna run and go get your friends and come back here and get killed? Or are you gonna leave and stop being a little shit for 10 minutes?
I'm a little confused about how to answer this question.
Figure it out.
Are you gonna go tell your friends about us?
Just
No.
This is the test.
good.
No?
Correct.
All right.
Bye.
Cool. You get good news. You get to see Daylight again. Thanks for cooperating. We appreciate it. And then I slide a little business card right into his pocket. And if you ever have any issues in the future, give us a call sometime.
Yeah.
He sort of. Have you ungrappled him now, or is he like free to move?
Yeah,
Okay. He sort of pushes his way to his feet and brushes himself off, and keeping sort of a wide berth away from you. And then as he approaches where you are, Ambrose keeps an extra wide berth away from you, and his eyes are a little wide, watching you freeze someone and then headbutt him with your horns. He's not a fan of you. You did do your.
That's okay. I still don't think we wanted to punch him 4 more times to put him to sleep.
I did, but
Well, I mean, but like, that would have just been sad.
yeah, I love
Makes
that.
his way up the stairs and out
Glass
of
bag.
this area.
Eat him up.
As he's like walking out the door, I just want to shout after him like, "We see your bitch ass again, I'm gonna kill you."
Imagine that he made exactly the face Evan was like,
You don't hear any sort of a response, but you do hear his feet on the stairs go from to as he climbs much faster on the way out in fear.
All right. Well, I say we definitely keep this big bag of stuff now.
Yes.
yeah,
Sorry.
maybe those were my clothes.
They could be. You want to try them on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Blast the clothes.
As you take a moment to catch your breath, having released this prisoner, we're going to go ahead and take our break for the evening. We are at 102 followers, so it's very exciting to be able to say that we are indeed going to be doing our giveaway today. Let me go ahead and get that set up really fast, and once that's good to go, I will let you all know what a keyword is. You can input that keyword one time, any more than one time, and you get disqualified. And then we will make sure that you get your digital download code for the D&D module Descent into Avernus on D&D Beyond.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be...
Thanks for making it happen, y'all.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
all for the
thank you
follows.
so much.
Number go up.
Number go up.
number go up. Number big.
I like number big.
There were 2 numbers side by side, but now there are 3.
Nice.
When you put it like that, it really sounds impressive.
Explosion.
All right.
All right, so tonight's keyword is red brands. That's REDBRANDS, all one word. So go ahead and enter red brands in chat, and if you enter it more than one time, you will be disqualified. And we hope to see you here after our break. We should be back here in about 15 minutes or so. It's 8:48 p.m. right now, so we'll be back just after 9 o'clock Pacific time. Thank you all for sticking with us so far, and if you have a moment while we are gone, please do take a peek at our charity, and if you have even a couple bucks to spare, we would really appreciate anything that you can donate for Transgender Law Center. That is our charity of choice for the start of this campaign. So I'm going to run a little promo video for them so you can learn a little bit more about what they're like and what they're all about, and we'll see you back here in about 15. Take care.
Thanks.
We believe in the leadership of trans and gender nonconforming people.
We believe in a future. We believe at the end of the day that we all can get free.
Transgender Law Center is a resource, but it's also a source of hope.
Well, I think we've come a long way, for sure. We started off as the organizations that help community members with their identity documents, name change, and their birth certificates petition. I think that we would not have grown in such an exponential way had it not been for NCLR's mentoring.
I actually don't think about TLC as a project of NCLR. I really think about them as a colleague organization, partnering with us shoulder to shoulder, doing very, very difficult work, who is there specifically to effectively and strategically be a champion for the transgender community.
At the Transgender Law Center, we have moved forward work that makes sure that we have laws and policies in place that protect our rights as transgender people.
Well, yesterday was a big step for equality. This is actually a pretty simple bill that makes...
Thank you to my lawyers and everyone who's been representing me. It's nice knowing that this will definitely be a beacon for other trans kids and other people in the community to look to as a source for hope.
You know, our work does not live here at the headquarters of Oakland, California, but our work exists out in the field. It exists in community centers, it exists at the border, it exists in detention centers. It is about empowering communities and supporting communities and meeting them where they're at.
The impact that Positively Trans has had on my life is that it has given me the opportunity to be visible, to be a voice within the transgender community, especially when it comes to trans people living with HIV, particularly the Black trans community. We are the authors of our stories. You can't tell our stories for us.
So we're about to cross. Immigrants from all Latin America are about to cross the border and present themselves to us for asylum.
Trans immigrants should not be detained, period. And so we launched TIDE, Transgender Immigrant Defense Effort.
We've been doing work in the South in partnership with Southerners on the ground for about almost 2 years at this point. And it's been super critical as well because we have seen that a lot of the anti-trans legislative attacks have occurred in the South.
We've seen amazing emergence of leadership within our Truth program, which is our trans youth program.
I have to know again my own self-worth and my own intelligence, because whatever I do, because I am Black, because I'm trans, because I'm queer, is gonna be questioned.
At Transgender Law Center, we're holding the whole community, right? We think that no one is disposable, that no one is left behind.
Now we're in a moment where we can utilize all the skills we've learned.
As soon as Trump was elected, we were really clear about the ways our community would be targeted. And we knew that what that would mean is that there would be incredible need for direct legal services and support.
And we came up with an emergency response plan, harnessing community power to meet the community need.
So we launched these national training institutes where we brought together transgender nonconforming leaders from all across the country. And what we found time and time again is that trans leaders have been asking for this for so long.
Each and every single day I find inspiration from our community leaders across the country around the ways that they're wanting to intentionally build the leadership of their local communities.
We are building an army of people that can resist the attacks that are happening at this moment.
I do feel like this dark moment has the seeds for a revolution that TLC can lead. And imagine, you see what's happened in just 15 years? The sky's the limit for what TLC can do and accomplish.
I think it's an important moment for supporters and those that love TLC to really continue to invest in TLC because of the cutting edge work that we're doing and because all the ways in which we're stretching all the resources that are given to us.
We will continue to center the most vulnerable and most targeted and make sure that the work we are doing is about meeting the real lived needs of people, the real day-to-day survival needs that we know many of our community is facing. It's really about being able to keep people alive, thriving, and fighting for liberation, justice, and self-determination for our communities. We believe in the leadership of trans and gender nonconforming people.
We believe in a future. We believe at the end of the day that we all can get free.
Transgender Law Center is a resource, but it's also a source of hope.
Well, I think we've come a long way for sure. We started off as the organizations that help community members with their identity documents, name change, and their birth certificates petition. I think that we would not have
welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the second half of episode 5. We are excited to roll for our winner for tonight's giveaway. First and foremost, thank you for those of you who did follow and got us over 100 followers so that we were able to do the giveaway. Also, thank you to Robin for footing the bill out of her own pocket for buying some of these things to give away for everybody. So we appreciate that. Also, thank you to those of you who have donated so far to Transgender Law Center. If you would like to support them, the links have been popping in the chat, or you can go to thehelpaction.com to do so. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll for this entry here. And congratulations, I think this might actually be the second giveaway you have won to Spirit Paw. So congratulations. We will make sure that we reach out to you here via Twitch. We'll have our mod Hi do that, and they will give you the download code for your content. Anything else anybody wants to talk about or handle before we jump into a recap and back into the game?
Let's go wild.
Awesome.
We're good.
Feel free.
Cool. So far in tonight's episode, the group has made their way from the center of the town, the small sort of frontier mining town of Phandalin, where they had just delivered some goods, and they could see, both when they entered the town and from pretty much all points within the town, far at the eastern end of town is a hill, at the top of which is an old manor house. They made their way out of curiosity up towards that manor, and inside the ivy-covered gates of the sort of crumbling castle with much of its collapsed floors above ground, they did find an entryway into a cellar that led beneath. Inside the cellar, they found an ancient cistern full of very clean and fresh water, and what looked like someone's... What was the term that you used?
Bug-out bag?
A bug-out bag.
Bug-out, yeah.
That looked like it was full of money, a few potions, and a set of clothes that was hidden within this cistern. My camera's really... There we go. As you stayed in this room, you could see there was one door off to the side that from behind it you could hear just a little bit of motion. As you cut out your lamplight, you could see the thin strip of light underneath that door also snuffed out, indicating indeed there was someone here. As Bree snuck forward to listen at the door was slammed open into her face, nearly knocking her backwards, and battle with a couple gentlemen in, if you can call them that, men in these red cloaks who did identify themselves as red brands, sprung forth to attack you. You were able to defeat 2 of them and threaten one of them into letting you know that further inside this sort of subterranean basement area, there is an old crypt within which apparently the man said that there were skeletons, and somewhere beyond that there is a handful of captives being held. You didn't get too much more information out of the gentleman, but as you let him go and he ran away, hopefully not to tell anybody about what he had seen or heard here today, we resume. You now stand on the side of your battle. You have the very slowly beginning to thaw chunks of the man who was frozen and shattered that lay on the floor. You have another man who is very much dead on the ground before you. It's a bit of a mess. From where you stand now, you can see sort of the open door from the torchlight that still lays on the floor. Or no, I guess one of you picked up the floor when you were interrogating Fergus. Pick up the torch, you can see the next room beyond where those 3 red brands had come from. Looks like a sort of a storeroom. You can see just the very edge of a cot peeking through the door there. And then off behind you and to the north, you have a sort of archway, masoned stone archway that leads into a hallway in the direction that Fergus had told you there be skeletons in a crypt. What would you like to do?
Is there anything salvageable from the bodies?
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Ooh. 3.
3. Go ahead and pour through the bodies, and as you do, on the one that is frozen, you find nothing but just sort of frosty chunks. It's gross. By the time these thaw, it's going to be a very difficult to explain medical phenomena. The other man who sort of smacked his head on the edge of this cistern as he went down. Here. You do find a small coin pouch, within which is 16 silver pieces and 7 gold pieces.
We'll take it.
Cool. Put it in the bag to split up later.
Sick.
I'll open I'll walk into the storeroom in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about y'all, but I could go for a little bit of a rest after that.
Yeah,
we can rest.
I was thinking about sleeping in their beds.
I mean, we should probably dispose of the bodies first. I'm not. Can we throw them in a hole or
not in the drinking water?
Not in the drinking water. God, no. I worry that's already been tainted by that one guy's blood.
Let's just shove them behind the barrels.
As Ambrose and Oleander discuss what to do with the bodies, Glass, you take a peek in the next room, and what you see here is a storeroom that looks as if it was pressed into service as a sort of quarters or bunk of some kind. You can see there are 2 double bunk beds up against either of the walls, and then additional barrels and crates sort of fill the room. There, you can see hanging on hooks are 3 not too clean scarlet cloaks, but beyond that, the room does not seem occupied.
Guys, there's some cloaks. I'm gonna take one down for myself.
Yes.
We could always try to disguise ourselves.
Yeah.
You 3 should take those cloaks because no one will ever believe that I would be in a gang. Because
I think there's 4. I'll go over to the dead guy. Him.
Oh, thanks!
I was going to say, if you stick out, I would really stick out. You can kind of tuck your ears under your hat.
I was going to say we could do kind of like the 2 kids in the coat between you and you.
I've been waiting for that bit.
So I would try to convince people that I was 2 kids in a coat and not like a 6-foot-tall demon lady, because I don't know what
we could do both, honestly. But I'll just roll this bloody one up.
Just give me the biggest one, and I'll make it work.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll each
We'll get a cloak.
Yeah.
It's cloak o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess I would check under the beds to see if there's anything, stored under there, under the mattresses.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
$12.
Underneath one of the beds is a small wooden box. Looks like about the size of a shoebox. There's something heavy inside.
I will open it if I can.
Okay. Inside, it looks like another small coin pouch.
Nothing in here, guys. Yeah, I'll more money.
All right.
More evil people's money.
As you open this pouch, inside are 15 coins that are relatively strange. They definitely look like something that would hold value and could be traded for money, but they are certainly almost like foreign currency. There is 15 electrum pieces.
Fool's gold.
Okay.
And in addition to that, there are also 2, maybe about the size of your pinky nail, small sort of dark, almost red wine colored stones.
Weird. Okay.
Cool.
Who wants to? How much money was in the bug out bag?
Let me see. The bug out bag had in
7
it
gold and 15 silver. Is that what?
That was on the one man who was down. The bug out bag itself had 50 gold in it.
Okay.
It's a lot of money.
Nice.
And even more so than that, the value of the one potion itself was an additional 50 gold from your shopping experiences, and then an additional yet identified potion.
Cool. So I'll hang on to those 2 potions. Let's split the gold and electrum evenly between the 4 of us if we can.
Sure. We could do that, or we could just wait until we can exchange this electrum if that's what we need to do with it. And then
that's true. Okay, we can just
gold.
Yeah, let me divvy up the gold first, and if you want to hang on to the electrum and the stones, we can sort that out when we get to some place where we can figure out what the heck these things are.
Sure.
Cool. Let me open up my amazing fantasy tabulation spell. It's a magical little device that allows me to calculate things because I am not good with numbers.
Is it like an abacus?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just an arcane abacus. As you slide the beads across.
It's fun. All right. Let's see. That's going to be 12 and a half gold for each of us. So I'm going to, let's see, 10 SP.
12 gold.
So I can exchange the gold for this silver.
Yeah, so it's 12 gold, 5 silver.
Oh no.
Yeah, unfortunately, the little change thing in D&D Beyond does not make change for you, so be aware of that.
Damn it.
Everybody gets 12 gold and 5 silver, okay?
Okay.
We can sort the dollars later.
Yeah. That's
As
it all
you
comes
take
out.
the time here in the sort of cold and somewhat dank basement, the soft sound of counting and spreading out the coins is broken only by just the soft noise of the dripping water into the cistern behind you. Otherwise, it remains silent here.
Are we all just sitting in a circle in that back room, like 2 of us on the bed, 2 on the floor, and we got like a pile of money in the middle?
Cool slumber party.
There are 2 sets of bunk beds in here, so there's a twin-sized cot in here for each of you.
Right. I'm definitely going to take a short rest.
Yeah, I want to take a rest. Take a short rest.
Do you want to do a short rest? Do we need a nap or do we need to sleep?
Well, a long
I'm
rest
down
is
for a nap. But... What's that?
A long rest is like 8 hours, isn't it?
Yeah. A long rest is going to bed for the night. We started today's game at noon. I'd say it's probably about like 1:30. It's not
Yeah,
done long.
I'm pretty well rested, and also like I don't want to go to
I don't wanna
sleep
wake you
in
that
a
long.
strange house that
Yeah.
has a crypt connected to it full of skeletons.
Yeah, I think a short rest.
Short rest seems good.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. While we're short rest.
Oh, there's like special wizard things I have to do.
Okay. So this is our first short rest, right?
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Do I roll hit die for a short rest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have the option to roll hit die for a short rest if you need to.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Absolutely.
So, are you the only? But you're the only one who took any damage, right? Is that right?
Is that true?
Yeah, I didn't take any
I'm
damage.
good.
Oh no, I didn't take any damage. My armor did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry to be. I know a song that helps you feel better. I don't know. I can do Song of Rest. So if you use, you can roll an additional hit die and not have to use both of your hit die.
Oh.
With,
Okay.
as long as you're rolling 1.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, so Song of Rest, you just spend a Bardic Inspiration point, and then you are able to roll an additional hit die anytime you roll a hit die. Is it anytime or just one additional?
I don't
roll?
have to spend a Bardic. It's just they have to spend a hit die, I think.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought it costed bardic inspiration, but it really doesn't matter because you get your bardic inspiration back in a short rest anyways. So
that's only at level 5, I think.
Oh, perhaps. Oh, that's font of inspiration at level 5. You're right.
Yeah, but no. If you or any friendly creatures, can hear can hear your performance, regain hit points at the end of a short rest by spending 1 or more hit dice. Each of those creatures regains an extra 1d6. So it's just if we take a short rest and they spend hit dice, then they get an extra.
Yeah. You basically get a free, not quite a cure wounds, but pretty close every time you do a short rest with that.
Cool. I'm going to do that.
Cool.
All right, and then sure. That was a nice rest.
Yeah, doing better?
Feeling better.
While you are resting, that's fine to go ahead and resolve your hit points. Are you making any sort of preparations for your rest? Is anybody keeping a watch, etc., etc.?
I can keep a watch.
Okay, go for it. If you would like to go ahead and make a perception check for me, or are you just shutting the door? Are you waiting outside? What's your plan here?
I'd like to shut the door, but stay next to it and keep like an ear out.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make your perception check for me then, please.
It's crashing for me right now.
Oh, okay. So you're full.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, I have at least a 15. D&D Beyond is down, so I can't see what my.
Oh no.
Oh, I got it for you. Your perception is a +2, so 17.
Okay. Cool.
As you watch as Bree just conks out hard for a minute, and as Glass sits there and softly plays his horn. Not a quiet thing. Aside from the reverberations of this song on Glass's horn, you don't seem to hear anything beyond that consistent dripping sound that you get from the cistern in the next room.
How lovely.
What a nice crypt.
As you complete your rest, Bree, you feel much more energized, and the rest of you have taken about an hour or so to rest up and knit whatever wounds you may need. I believe that means that Oleander gets her spell slots back, which is fantastic, and you now may do whatever you would like. What would you like to do?
All right. Are we? Do we need to do anything else, or are we ready to trek into the bone zone?
Is there anything we wanted to pull from these barrels? Because before we got in that ruckus, there were some delicious meats and such.
I'm not above stealing some cured meats from these shitty men.
Then Ambrose, if you would go ahead and make an investigation check for me, please.
Ooh, I can do that.
Dig through these crates.
Ooh. That'll be a 19.
Yeah, you find more stores of what looks like powdered flour, some additional grains. There is one smaller crate that does have some cured meats in it. If you'd like to take some of those. Lots of this is sized and portioned in basically like huge chunks that would be basically like an entire leg of something wrapped in whatever it was like hung and cured with. So it's not exactly something you can stick in your pocket unless we're playing Skyrim, but there's at least like a hunk of like a leg of cured beef that you could carve some strips off of if you wanted to.
Okay.
Nice.
Give it a little bit of that.
Okay, we got some jerky.
Yeah.
And with that, have the rest of the day ahead of you. It is now, I'd say, pushing like 2:30, 3 o'clock-ish in the afternoon. Though you probably can't tell from where you are down here.
So,
sorry.
Before we go, investigate these dead people. I feel like I should clarify that that's not the first time I've heard of these red brands, guys.
Oh.
I kind of used to work with them.
Oh.
In a murder capacity?
That was, well, sometimes.
Oh.
But let's just say we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And we see eye to eye on even fewer things now.
So you may have not...
There's no love lost. And, well, frankly, I've kind of got a bone to pick.
Okay.
Lots of bones.
Well, I try not to judge anybody by whatever they've done in the past. You know, every day is a new day to be a better person. So, we're glad to have you here, Bree. But I would like to ask, are they like, how big of an organization are they? Are they a local thing or are they a more widespread thing?
Well, you know, I feel like I'm only just learning about that too. I really thought they were small-time crooks for the longest time. But I'm far from home and they're still out here. And I'm beginning to think that maybe they're not just thugs. I'm beginning to think there might be somebody pulling the strings behind this. That is not just random acts of violence.
Like a franchise operation.
Yeah, like a franchise operation.
Sort of a multi-level mayhem scheme.
It's a new one.
Yeah.
Whatever makes your brain go.
Well,
but yeah, the long and short of it is, if there's any people down here who recognize me, it's gonna be a problem.
Okay.
Can't imagine it's going to be much bigger a problem than, murdering a couple.
Yeah, I mean, when I say it's gonna be a problem, I mean we're gonna have to kill them. So
that's fine.
You probably already,
we've killed 2 of them.
Yeah, popped that bubble already, so we crossed that Rubicon, as it were.
All right.
Still got plenty of ice, so just let us know who to aim for. We'll help you kill. I'm saying.
Thanks
You
for
are
your
the
honesty.
finest wizard I have ever met in my entire life.
How many do you know?
I mean, I know more than 0.
Okay.
I always thought that us warlocks were the messed up ones. Jeez Louise. It's like, I mean, we have messed up built into us. You people have to try.
All I heard there was support for a fellow tiny creature.
Exactly.
All right.
It's okay. You tall wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand up on the bed and go, hey.
We're still in the horny club.
You don't take any bludgeoning damage, but it was close.
Okay. Well, it's our differences that really make us wonderful. Right. Let's go kill some skeletons.
Yeah.
Again, I guess.
Yeah. I hope that's easy. It sounds hard.
I'm excited to find out.
Let's go xylophones and bone boys.
As you conclude your rest and sit for a moment and speak to each other, learn a little bit more about each other, you conclude the rest, opening the door and making your way back into the next room and over in the direction of this tunnel or archway that sort of leads into the next hallway here. Who would like to lead as you sort of make your way through, since this is kind of only wide enough for one person to go at a time?
I'll lead.
Yeah, that way,
Have you still
tell
got
us
Sure.
Yeah.
Any particular marching order for the rest of you?
I'll go second, just to keep kind of maybe the stealth crew towards the front.
And then between...
I can take up the rear.
You want the rear? Alrighty. You make your way into
Since
this
I
next
have
chamber here.
Okay.
And as we march in, I'm gonna take the lamp and I'm gonna pull up my hood and try and look anonymous.
Yeah, I'll put on my cloak too.
Yeah, I'm gonna try
You're
to
putting on the red cloaks that you just found.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Let's put those on.
Okay. You make your way into this next chamber here. You can now see that you are in what appears to be sort of a long, narrow hallway here. There's a thick layer of dust that covers the flagstones, and the walls here are decorated with these faux columns that are halfway embedded into the wall every 10 feet or so. At the very, very far end of the hallway, you can see a large set of double doors that are constructed entirely of copper, now with a great degree of age and patina to them, turning that copper into that sort of faded, soft, almost seafoam greenish color. There is a carving on the door that looks like a mournful angel.
Can I do a history check on that angel, or would that be religion?
Either or. What are you trying to discern?
I'll do a history check. I have better stats for history. Ooh, that's not a natural 20, but it is a 20.
The angel itself doesn't seem like it depicts any particular celestial deity or angel or anything like that you're aware of. You do know that this looks like it is in some way not necessarily religious, but common sort of symbology and motifs that you would find around a crypt or a graveyard or something like that, as you would expect. It seems like the man had not been lying to you when he said that there was indeed a crypt up here.
All right. Cool. Well, it doesn't seem like this is like the last resting place of some eldritch and unknowable death god or anything. It's just a crypt, probably going to be some dead bodies in it. Maybe some of them walking around, but nothing too weird, hopefully.
Trust you on that.
Knock on wood. Well, knock on rock.
Do you want to knock on the door?
Sure. I knock on the door.
As you make your way up, as you begin to cross the floor, you step on a section that at first feels solid, and as you place weight onto it, gives way. It appears that there is a series of timbers on top of which have been laid this flagstone that matches the rest of the floor, and then scattered with this dust. As the floor does give way beneath you, I need you to go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go.
Peter, were you in the rear? And so...
I got a 5.
And a 5. Fortunately, as you topple into the pit, you reach for the edge, trying to catch it, and your fingers hook for a second, and then slide off on the dust, and you fall 20 feet down. landing flat on your back, knocking the wind out of you, and you do suffer 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, that's half my health.
Jeez.
I think you're the one with that healing potion, though.
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
To mark it really fast on everybody's map.
Say it down. Well, but you have that healing.
You dick!
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Everybody can see that? Okay, yeah. Now you can see where this sort of hole in the ground is on the map itself. Yeah, it is large, and as you fall in and land on your back, much of this sort of flagstone and timber that was crafted to break away does fall and land on you. You are able to avoid taking any additional damage from this, but it does cause several bumps and bruises that will not feel good tomorrow or the next day.
Ow!
The rest of you watch as Oleander just walks up to say, I'll knock on the door, and the floor breaks out and she falls through, and you just see this sort of puff of dust and debris pop up from it, and she's nowhere in sight.
He does, huh?
Oleander?
We run over and look in the hole.
Oops.
I'm not dead!
Oh, thank God.
All right.
You rush over and peer down. You can see laying flat on her back, sort of scattered in dust and stones and bits of broken timber, is Oleander, laying at the bottom of this pit about 20 feet down from where you are.
Can you sit up?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's fine. I landed on my soft, cushiony spine.
I didn't know you had those.
Yeah,
That's
I
good to know.
don't. Well, I have a spine, but it's not a thing you're supposed to land on.
Oh.
Anyways, I think I can walk. Does one of you have a rope or something that I can get out of this pit with?
Believe I do.
My bag.
Yeah.
I'll throw a rope down to Oleander and
Thank you.
use my 80 pounds of weight to pull her out.
Well, I'll help you.
Okay.
Can I also assist?
Yeah, without too much trouble, you're able to, the three of you all helping, pull. I will say, though, for you, Oleander, go ahead and make one athletics check to just hang on to the rope. I'll say athletics or acrobatics, whichever you prefer, just to make sure that you're hanging onto the rope and being pulled up safely.
My acrobatics is a little better, so. That's going to be an 8.
8. As they try to pull up, the rope sort of slips out of your grasp. It's not high enough up yet for you to have taken any additional falling damage. Go ahead and just make one more roll for me to see if you can get out of here. As you all pull up and the rope just comes slack.
Oh, okay. That one's a 19, so yes.
19.
That time it worked. My
Second
pride
time
is
around,
still intact.
you hang on, you sort of wrap a few of the ropes around your hands and rappel your way up the side of the pit with the help of your three friends. Now you stand at the edge of this sort of deep hole in the ground here. On either side, there is about a 6-inch wide ledge of stone that looks like where the timbers were once placed, and from the ones that you had seen in the pit, it looked like they were intentionally sort of sawn about halfway through so that they would give way when someone was to step on them. If you would like to try to skirt around the edge of this using those ledges, you may try to do that, or you can try to jump across. What does everybody want to do?
I'll never ask you to knock on a door again. Okay. And this may not work. Can we go back and grab a bunch of barrels and boxes and just throw them in?
Oh man, that's gonna take a while.
Dude.
I'm gonna just like go over to one of the edges and just try to like push my foot on the stone to see how secure it is.
It looks pretty sturdy.
Okay. I think I can make it across like this. I'm gonna try. And I can maybe help guide from the other side.
As you attempt to sort of skirt your way around the edge, clinging to the wall on this sort of narrow ledge, go ahead and make an acrobatics check for me, please.
Attempt. $17.
17. You sort of stretch one of your feet out, and with cat-like grace, you manage to, just 1 foot at a time, just sort of sidestep your way across, hugging the wall and keeping your center of gravity as close to the wall as you can. You make it across to the other side without... Oops, I keep using the wrong tool. There we go. Without too much ado. And as you do get to the other side, sort of step over and you can see the pit below you and your friends on the other side. You've made it safely.
Bree, do you want to throw me the end of that rope? We could try and make a something to hold on to.
Oh, okay.
What? Yeah, tightrope. Is that what you were thinking I was going to say? No, like to help.
Like a handrail situation.
Yes. Yeah, with help with acetylene.
Okay. Yeah. You and I can provide the tension, and then.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Glass and I will hold this rope taut across one side of it. Oleander, Ambrose, if y'all want to try and shimmy your way across.
Why don't you go first, Ambrose? I need a minute here.
I probably should, huh?
Okay.
Hey, gang. Remember the last time we had a death pit situation? Good times.
Like this.
Full of good ideas.
Sing you a song?
I'll be fine. Ambrose tries to make his little way across.
Okay, go ahead and make an acrobatics check for me.
Okay. Hooey.
For you, this is not too far different from...
12.
12. This is not very different from clinging to many of the rocks and ledges from where you are from. And with your nimble hooves, you are able to make your way across without too much problem.
Thank God. That would have been embarrassing.
I'll go next.
Can I, since I'm across, can I assist Oleander in any way?
Yeah, I mean, the rope is already being held, which did lower the DC for everybody, making it fairly simple. But yeah, with Glass on one side and I guess you're now over here, and Bree on the other.
Some sort of pool floaty scenario.
So Oleander or Bree, who would like to go next?
I'll go next, since Bree's holding the other end of the rope.
Ready? Go for it. Make your acrobatics check as you try to skirt around the edge.
No. Oh, that's a 7. Okay, so I got a 9.
9. As you begin to skirt, your foot slips off the edge and you begin to fall as you reach up to grab onto the edge again. Go ahead and make one more dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy.
All right.
Is there any way I can help at this time?
Oh, sick. That's a 4.
Oh.
If you want to, as your reaction, go ahead and make an athletics check to sort of try to reach down and grab Oleander as she falls.
I will. It's athletics, you said?
Athletics, yep.
Ooh, it's 12 again.
12 again. You are able to catch Oleander, and as she dangles, your grip slowly loosens, and she does fall, but this time ready for it. And not nearly as far being dangled from your hands. This time, as you land, you do land on your feet and sort of roll to the side. You are back in the bottom of the pit, but you did not take any damage from falling, thanks to the quick thinking of Ambrose, who was not able to catch you, but was at least able to slow your fall.
Thank you, Ambrose.
That's an unusual way to get across the pit.
Yeah,
I expected that.
I almost made it, you know?
Oh. I don't know.
DC 10, sorry, everybody.
Say Christmas, kiddo.
Well, okay.
I mean, if Bree gets across, then we can solve the pit problem.
Yeah, just get Bree across, and then we'll worry about old Oleander down here.
Yeah, we can just pull you up with the rope from
Shout up from below.
Just stay put.
If Bree falls, I'll catch her.
There you go. There we go. All right.
Bree, go ahead and make your acrobatics check for me, if you will.
Right.
I love this group. Just a hole in the ground is a solid 30 minutes of gameplay time.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes it's how it is.
It really is, though. That's just D&D sometimes.
13.
13? Yeah, not too much of a problem. DC was only
Okay.
10, sadly, for that 9. I'm sorry. You do skirt your way across and land on the other side as Glass sort of steps out of the way to allow you forward, sort of choking up on the rope as you make your way across. Now all three of you stand above and can assist Oleander up with the rope as done before. Oleander, make one more athletics check to hang on to the rope as you are dragged up, this time being careful to make sure you let go if you think you're going to fall.
Please don't humiliate me.
You got this, girl.
Hey, that's a 21. What's up?
Yay! This time,
Right.
It's amazing how good I am at rope.
fueled by frustration and a deep inner desire to save face, you begin climbing up the rope as they drag you upwards and make it to the top and push yourself up with your own motivation.
My own moxie. My own hook.
You make it back up to the top, and now the four of you stand before these large copper doors bearing the carving of the angel. What would you like to do?
I would like to knock on the door.
Wait.
Okay.
They're clearly waiting for visitors.
As you knock on the door, it echoes both in this room and possibly on the other side. You do not hear any sort of a response.
Oh.
We don't hear a skeleton warrior assembling himself from the ground.
Oleander 1, door 0.
Could I inspect, or at least investigate, or touch this door to see if there's anything unusual about it?
Yeah, like looking for traps? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, to see if it's gonna like fall apart on us or something.
Make an investigation check for me, please.
Now that we know what we're
Everybody's
dealing with.
fucking paranoid now. That's the best part about it.
14.
14. You run your fingers across the door. You do your best to sort of look in the gap between the two doors. You don't see anything that looks like it could be used as a mechanism or a trigger or a spring or anything like that that would launch some sort of, I don't know, pot of burning oil from the top of your above you, or another pit that would fall out below you, or there's nothing like that there. It just looks like
Whoopee cushion, something embarrassing.
Yeah.
A man pops out and says, "Ugh." No, the door does not appear to be trapped.
Okay. If it's okay with everyone else, I'd like to use my big beating stick to push the door open.
Okay. As you lean forward with the tip of your staff and push, the door does creak open, and you can see into the next chamber here.
Oh, God.
It looks good.
Your way inside.
Oh, boy.
A crypt in here.
You can see there are two doors. On one to the northeast and one to the northwest. And then in addition to that, there are three sort of vertically standing coffins, and sitting in front of each of them with their arms crossed in front of them with a bow in one hand and a sword in the other are three skeletons.
Oh my God.
Hell yeah.
It is exactly as described. Surprised at how accurately it was described, but not at all surprised by their presence.
Does anyone remember what direction Fergus said the hidden people were? We just kind of sit in there, huh?
Yeah, I don't see any people.
I think we should have little toed that guy.
Shit.
Yeah, me too.
Next time we'll tie somebody up and drag them around.
Cool.
We could have used him as the bridge.
Yeah.
Or at least something to fall on.
Yeah. It's always good to have a spare body around.
Throwing him down there like a mattress. Thanks, Fergus.
All right. I mean, I feel like I fucking know the answer, but anything about these skeleton boys look vaguely alive?
Go ahead and make a investigation check. Are you just looking, or are you getting up close to them and like peering at them?
Just looking from a distance. I'm not
So
trying
perception instead of investigation then.
Okay. That would be 16.
So as you sort of look around the room, you can see that the three large sarcophagi are made of stone. The skeletons themselves look like they are clad in like these bits of rusty mail that have very much past their prime and are beginning to disintegrate with time. Each of them do sort of clutch that ancient-looking sword and bony hands and a brittle-looking bow in the other. The walls in this room, just like the hallway that you were just in, are adorned with those sort of false columns that look like they're carved to resemble spreading oak trees in some sort of a pretty fashion. And the backside of the doors that you just came through, now that they're present, are also copper. It looks like the doors are solid copper through. Very much a show of wealth for this crypt down here. But as you peer at the skeletons themselves, they don't give any hint of motion. There's no sort of light in the eyes, nothing like that.
All right, I'm gonna stage whisper back to everybody. Like, I mean, I just know these guys are gonna come alive, right?
I mean, he said they did.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
The only thing I can think is maybe we can fucking get a weapon out of their hands before they get up.
Can I sneak up to the one that's like directly in front of me there and see if I can wiggle the sword out of its hand?
Sure. So first to sneak, go ahead and make a stealth check. And then after that, we're going to make a sleight of hand check.
Make a stealth check for what? Those skeletons.
You said sneak, so I'm checking what your sneak is.
Yeah.
All right, 15 for stealth.
15, got it.
And then sleight of hand?
Ooh.
20.
20. Make your way up to the skeleton. There is a sort of a brittle-looking bow in one hand and the sword in the other. Which of the two weapons are you trying to take?
The sword.
Okay. You reach up and very carefully sort of wrap your fingers around the edge of the sword and begin to just sort of poke it from the bottom to sort of loosen its grip, making sure that it doesn't sort of topple at the top. You do eventually manage to slide it out, and looking at it now, it is covered in dust. The blade is harried with chips and dents and areas where it is very much no longer sharp. A few of those dents and scratches look like they are gaining rust, but as you do so, the skeleton themselves does not seem to move, aside from the one finger bone that you do sort of knock off that clatters to the ground.
All right, I'm gonna look back at everybody with the sword in one hand and go like,
We just gotta do that 2 more times.
oh shit, am I gonna, you're,
Do you want me to do one?
yeah, I can do one.
All right, I'll go up and do the same thing. Try to do the exact same thing.
There. Okay, and which of the two that remain on the northeast or northwestern side do you want to do?
Northwest.
Northwest, okay. Make your way over there. Are you going to sneak first?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
go ahead and make your stealth check first.
15.
Okay. Begin to creep and crawl your way across. Way over there, and as soon as you cross that sort of central boundary of the room, you hear a shuddering sound around you. And the skeletons, all of them in the room, sort of turn their head, and they snap towards you, and they all gaze at you, and they watch as their jaws begin to hang open, and they sort of shake the dust off of their bones as they clatter into shape and step forward. Everybody needs to roll for initiative.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah. Fighting some skeletons in skeleton land.
All right, that's gonna be a 7 for me.
2.
I will grab those from everybody in just 1 second once I get this set up on my end.
How you doing on health, Oleander?
Also, just so everybody knows, it is 9:52 right now.
Oh, okay.
Do we want to do this combat? It might take maybe 30 or so minutes, which would put us at like 10:30 for the end of it. I'm fine with going along if you guys want to, but I think after this combat it would have to be done, or we can save this and pick up from right here at the start of next session.
We can save this.
Yeah.
Start with another combat thing next session.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, we can do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
That means that we'll end after we finish talking our ending points. We'll round out at a nice 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Perfect. As you step forward to steal another sword, skeletons come to life, and that's where we'll get a good like. We'll be back. Freeze frame.
Hell yeah!
Wow. Doing a little subterranean exploration. This is a first proper. I guess you did a cave before, but this is your first proper kind of dungeon dive, so that'll be fun. Let's see what happens here.
Dragon.
The dragon. Hey, nobody knows about that. That was off the air. That was a secret.
I just hope there isn't one here.
I just hope there isn't another pit, because apparently they're my mortal enemy.
Truly.
You do not have good luck with pits.
You want pits.
But you are also the like, I'll open the door person of the party, so
yeah,
that does tend to befall you.
Yeah, but you're cool.
I at least get the shit beat out of me by people. There's
beat out of you. It's like grizzled and badass. When I get the shit beat out of me, it's because I'm falling down a hole.
You'll get good at it. You'll get good at crime and violence. Yeah.
I'm gonna never come out for this kind of thing. There are no holes in the city unless you count manholes. Different thing.
I do want to take just a few minutes to go through any donations we might have received during the stream, which it does look like we have gone up by quite a bit. We're at $14.60 now, which is awesome. So thank you very much to everybody. Let me go ahead and pull those up, and we'll go ahead and read everybody's little memos and notes that they left with that. And then we'll call it a night and catch you all next week. But for those of you who do want to head out, if you stuck with us for this long, we appreciate you. Thank you for coming. We cannot wait to see you next week when we get to fight some skellies. So we appreciate you. With that, tonight's donations, we have another $20 from my boyfriend. Thanks, boyfriend. And we have a $30 donation from Snoozlebee. Thank you very much, Snoozlebee. Comment says, numbers go up.
Numbers go up.
So thank you very much. We appreciate that. And then from Jessica Jones, possibly the crime-fighting private investigator from Marvel. Maybe. I feel like that might be a misconception many people have about you due to your name. But you donated $5. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. I think that covers it for the evening. So thank you very much for everybody for your donations. Thank you for sticking with us and watching. Is there anything anybody else wants to talk about or mention before we hop off for the week?
Thanks for bringing us to 103 followers.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
That's y'all.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Cool.
There's nothing else. We will see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific here on Twitch. You're awesome. We love you. Take care, and we'll catch you next time.
We'll see you on what's it, the 23rd next? Oh, we're getting so close to Christmas.
Right? Yeah. Next session will be our Christmas session. We have yet to decide how we will be adorning our bodies for this, but we'll decide something fun for you. So if you are stuck at home with your family, or you are stuck at home because of quarantine, or you're just having a Christmas and want to watch some D&D, please come join us. We'll be here. Can't wait to see you next week. All right.
We're fighting skeletons at Christmas, just like Tim Burton. Okay, I'm good night, y'all. Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody. Love you.
Derek.